This is Atomic Shinobi, and today I'm going to narrate second and final part of what if Kid Naruto was saved by Shinigami and received summoning contract. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, and subscribe to this channel. Not wasting no more time. Let's start the story.
Maybe Pervy Sage is planning something, and if he isn't, I will just go on a training trip by myself, Naruto thought as he ate some breakfast alone. Kyuubi, what are we going to do about training? Kyuubi responded, you need to learn a new jutsu, and since you know Mito's jutsu that got her the seal on her forehead, you need to go on a training trip. Naruto then thought, Pervy Sage is planning something, and if he isn't, I will just go on a training trip by myself. After arriving at the bathhouse, Naruto made a hand sign and yelled, Sexy Jutsu, which caused him to change into Naruto like Hanakazama. However, as soon as Naruto entered the bath, he heard a voice say, Oh, this is wonderful, what inspiration for my new book, Make Out Paradise Blossom Edition Volume 1. Jiraiya's voice was followed by a flash of orange, and Naruto materialized directly behind Jiraiya. When Jiraiya turned around and saw Naruto, he said, Ah, Naruto, just the ninja I wanted to see, and Naruto Horizon Sensei gave me permission to take you on a training trip, in particular that I have a jutsu in mind to teach you. Afterward, Naruto undid his jutsu and said, Hey Pervy Sage, glad you're here because I am going to be up against my girlfriend's own cousin Neji Hyuga of the Hyuga clan. Following his reply, Naruto inquired, What jutsu are you going to teach me, Pervy Sage? Which Jiraiya responded, The one jutsu that can counter Hyuga clan's rotation, the Rasengan. Then Naruto responded, I already know that one and I have been having bit of trouble trying to complete it. So Jiraiya responded, That was one thing your father failed to do, and he was the one not only created the Rasengan, he taught me the Rasengan in hope that I teach you the Rasengan. Following Jiraiya's speech, Naruto explained, I have been trying to add wind affinity into the Rasengan, and I have even been trying to work on Fox Fist Art, a taijutsu style of my own creation. Jiraiya responded, I think I can help you with that, Naruto, and we are going on a training trip because I got word from a member of my spy network that someone is in ruins of your ancestral home, Hidden Edi village Uzushiogakure. Naruto then said, Homeland of Uzumaki clan, well Pervy Sage, let's go. And they left for the ruins of Hidden Edi village Uzushiogakure, but after 5 hours they eventually arrived outside the village. When they stepped off the boat, Naruto noticed a blood seal. He explained, On the panel near my foot is a blood seal, and it means only those who have blood of an Uzumaki be able to enter ruins of Hidden Edi village, while if an intruder steps in the other seal, activate summoning strongest of the Uzumaki to send the intruder back to intruder's home village marked with chakra network lock seal. Naruto then entered the Hidden Edi village ruins and proceeded to see where someone was staring at the grave of an Uzumaki ancestor. I am descendant of your grandmother Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze, and to meet someone who is partly my distant cousin I am actually happy, Naruto said as he approached the person. You must have cared for the Uzumaki who was buried here, and may I ask who you are? The person turned to face Naruto, and then said, My apologies if I did not place any flowers on the grave of the Uzumakis, and the name is Nawaki Senju, grandson of Mito Uzumaki Senju, plus I am grandson of Hashirama Senju. Naruto said, Pervy Sage, meet grandson of my ancestor Nawaki Uzumaki Senju, and the two approached Jiraiya. Jiraiya asked, How is this even possible? I was told that you died leaving my teammate as last of the Senju. Nawaki responded, I would have died except I was brought here by ghost of Uzumaki, and my Uzumaki bloodline awakened due as the color of my hair got combined with the trait of Uzumaki, making my hair now reddish brown. Following their conversation, Nawaki began teaching Naruto some wood style jutsu, and Jiraiya began helping him perfect Fox's first art taijutsu, which Naruto had created himself because he was the owner of the blue Byakugan. A few days later, the three of them returned to Hidden Leaf Village, where the genin ranked shinobi were waiting. Naruto then gave Hinata a necklace, saying, This necklace used to belong to my mother, and I think she want you to have it as her blessing for our relationship, because if my mother Kushina Uzumaki Namikaze was still alive, she would have already considered you her daughter. In.law even when we are married. Right, first match is Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze of Namikaze clan versus Neji Hyuga of the Hyuga clan, exam prompter Iruka said after Naruto finished speaking. Both of them descended to the center of the Chunin exams arena, where Neji remarked, It appears destiny is on my side because destiny tells me that I will be the victor of his match. Naruto responded, Don't get cocky, Neji. Destiny is not something that controls us because we all make our own destiny. Iruka said, Begin. After Naruto finished speaking, and Neji Hyuga activated his Byakugan at the same moment that Naruto activated his blue Byakugan. Neji then tried to hit Naruto with a gentle fist until Naruto span, at which point he yelled, Uzumaki Whirlpool Defense, and Naruto blocked his attack. Meanwhile, Hyuga's clan elder said, How did that boy pull off such a UTSU that is completely like our clan's jutsu rotation? After the elder from the Hyuga clan spoke, Hiyashi responded. It is not possible that he was taught secret of rotation. And only possible reason that boy did his own version of rotation is that he could have either watches one of us use rotation or he was given a Hyuga clan scroll. Which Naruto then turned to look at Hiyashi and stated. It is neither of that, Hiyashi, because these eyes the blue Byakugan was result of my life been saved by a Hyuga who did a blood transfusion even when the Hyuga was also the blood do not due to the type of blood that I have. So Hiyashi screamed. You have no rights to such a dojutsu boy and I will have it sealed due Byakugan as rights of Hyuga clan only. But when Naruto chuckled. Leaf Hyuga you were correct about unless a Hyuga was originally from Hidden Eddy village. After Naruto finished speaking, Hiyashi was about to say something when he said, now if you excuse me, I have a match to win. Naruto then turned to face Neji and yelled, Fox Fistart Fox trigrams 64 jolts. However, as Naruto began to jab 64 of Neji's chakra points, Neji Hyuga countered with 8 trigrams 64 palms, to which Neji replied, 8 trigrams 64 palms. Those fake Byakugan eyes are nothing compared to real Byakugan eyes and you a dead last shall be defeated by me because you in range for my 8 trigrams, Neji said after blocking Naruto's attack. Neji then yelled, 8 trigrams 64 palms, and Neji struck all 64 of Naruto's chakra points. Naruto closed his eyes, thinking, thanks to Neji's 8 trigrams 64 palms it feels like I have no chakra. Kyuubi responded, if you feel like you used as your own chakra warden, why don't you figure out a solution to this form of condition? Afterwards Naruto thought, wait a minute, if I feel like I used up my own chakra I can always call upon the inner gates or even another source of chakra. Which Kyuubi responded, you figured that out and all you need is to ask one that holds that other source of chakra. Then Naruto pondered, Kyuubi mind if you lend me some chakra? And Kyuubi responded, finally you figured out solution to this form of condition and warden I will repsect fully lend you some chakra to have those chakra points that Hyuga guy blocked unblocked. Neji, it's time that I show you why I am the leader of the Namikaze clan. If you think rotation is enough to protect you, well guess again because like my father who not only defeated your father Hizashi Hyuga but your uncle Hiyashi Hyuga. I am going to pull off a jutsu from book of my father, Naruto said as he opened his eyes and closed both hands together and Kyuubi's chakra began unblocking the chakra points that Neji had blocked. When Naruto began to form a Rasengan, Hiyashi and other members of the Hyuga clan thought, no, it can't be. It is the creation of the 4th Hokage Minato Namikaze the jutsu that counter-rotation the jutsu known as the Rasengan. Naruto then successfully formed the Rasengan, and as Neji used rotation, Naruto countered rotation with Rasengan as Naruto yelled, Rasengan. Naruto then looked at Neji gravely and said, if you think you are the only one that suffered, well, guess again. Neji then turned to Naruto and asked, why did you tell me of the suffering that you've been through when my cousin is even suffering from being forced into an arranged marriage with the person that she does not love, which Naruto responded with, I told you of my suffering because unlike me you are a genius that perhaps one day bring two sides of Hyuga back into what it should have been one big happy family. Then Neji responded, exam prompter I surrender because for now on I will follow a new destiny, a destiny that I will form instead of the destiny that Hyuga clan itself follows. So the exam prompter responded, winner of the match Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze of the Namikaze clan. Following Iruka's speech, Naruto and Neji walked back to their team. Fake Kazekage then said, well, that was an interesting match, Lord Hokage, and who would have thought that Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze pull of an interesting jutsu. The 3rd Hokage, Horizon, responded, Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze is indeed Jonin material, and Hinata is also Jonin rank material due to the bond that they share. Orochimaru thought, excellent, the leader of the Namikaze clan showed great strength, and once I at least obtained either some of his DNA or Naruto defected into my village, I have the power to destroy the Akatsuki along with anyone that dares to challenge me, Orochimaru of the legendary Sannin. However, as the 3rd Hokage Horizon grinned, he said, I disagree with what Hyugas are doing, which is why I am going to set Hinata's arranged marriage with Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze the Namikaze clan leader. After the 3rd Hokage, Horizon pondered, will Tamari Sabuko of Hidden Sand Village and Shikamaru Nara of the Nara clan come down? Exam prompter Hyatt then asked, is there anything you wish to say before the match can begin? Shikamaru responded, what a drag I have to face a girl when I would prefer to relax while watching the clouds. However, as Tamari pulled her fan out in preparation for the battle, Tamari said, you're in for a treat if you think this is a drag because I am going to make it at least entertaining for you Shikamaru-san. Exam prompter Hyatt said, begin. and Shikamaru went into his thinking position as he thought that Sand Kunoichi is a long-distance fighter and the best solution for me to win is to use moves like the moves I use in game of shogi. Shikamaru then got up from his thinking position and made a hand sign, which allowed him to catch Tamari with Shadow Bind. He yelled, "Shadow Bind Jutsu," but Tamari escaped his Shadow Bind Jutsu just as he was about to throw a kunai at her. Tamari slammed her fan on the ground after escaping Shikamaru's Shadow Bind Jutsu, then struck Shikamaru with a Razor Wind Gust while shouting, "Wind-style Razor Wind Gust Jutsu." Tamari then said, "I see that you have been using shogi style. Well, you are not the only one that knows how to play that game," and she made 3 clones appear while shouting, "Clone Jutsu." The Sand Village Kunoichi must be either hiding some of her jutsu or she is planning something that I need to be prepared for because whatever it is I need to be ready to dodge it, Shikamaru thought after 3 Tamari clones appeared. Tamari then placed her fan onto her back and struck Shikamaru with a Sabuko combo punch while shouting, "Taijutsu Art Sabuko Combo Punch." Shikamaru then leapt back to hide on a tree branch. Before striking Tamari with the Shadow Hammer and shouting, "Shadow Hammer Jutsu," Shikamaru threw a 3 kunai into position and made a few hand signals. Shikamaru grinned as he thought, "I got Sand Village Kunoichi right where I need her, and if I am to do this right I must watch out for that move Sand Kunoichi is possibly planning." After giving it some thought, Shikamaru said, "You're an interesting Kunoichi Tamari-san, and I would not mind taking you on in a game of shogi because some team tactics are originally from tactics that people use in a game of shogi." Tamari responded, "I am not sure if you stand facing me in a game of shogi because shogi is like a shinobi battlefield where shinobi of one team are fighting against shinobi of another team." Shikamaru then said, "That may be true Tamari-san, I have learned some good moves from a game of shogi like this one for an example." Shikamaru then made a hand sign that caused his shadows to grab the kunai that Shikamaru threw. Shikamaru made this shadow throw 3 kunai as he formed a second hand sign. He yelled, "Ninja Art Tri Kunai / Jutsu," and Tamari immediately protected herself with her fan. Shikamaru then wrapped the handle of the kunai with a shadow entrapment seal, throwing the kunai directly at Tamari in the hopes that his jutsu would work. After throwing a kunai at Tamari, Shikamaru made a few hand gestures and yelled, "Shadow Entrapment Jutsu." The seal then activated, trapping Tamari in Shikamaru's Shadow Entrapment Jutsu. Shikamaru grinned and thought, "The skills that I planned in game of shogi actually worked and I don't think I need to continue this match because I rather watch the clouds with my friend Shoji Akamichi." After giving Tamari his jutsu, Shikamaru said, "Exam prompter Hyatt, I forfeit the match and reason is that I feel like I am worn out from running around the Hidden Leaf Village with Guy-sensei." The exam prompter then stated, "Due to Shikamaru Nara of the Nara clan forfeiting the match, the winner of the match is Tamari Sabuko of Hidden Sand Village." Tamari accompanied Shikamaru back to his team, but as he did so, Shikamaru reflected, "Damn, that was a challenging match, and even if I continued the match instead of forfeiting the match I might have been defeated." At the cage box, Fake Cage thought, "My daughter has won her match against Shikamaru Nara and they are both Chunin rank material, which third Hokage Horizon responded, "I agree with you Lord Cage because the skills that they both have shown in their match it shows that they would make good tacticians." Then Orochimaru was thinking, "That damn Cage's daughter won her match and what is worse is that someone is foiling my plan." Thus third Hokage Horizon believed, "Orochimaru, my foolish ex-student, yet again things are not going your way, and as soon you show your traitorous face with help from Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze I will correct the mistake that I made when you turned traitor. Your son's match should be next, and whoever he is going to face, I am sure that your son might actually win his match," said the third Hokage Horizon. To which the fake Cage replied, "That might possibly be true Lord Hokage, except that minty-haired girl could possibly be the one that is going to be my son's opponent if someone else is not his opponent." Orochimaru then thought, "My plan better not be foiled any more than it already is because I will kill you Horizon Sensei, that I promise you." Finally, the third Hokage Horizon thought, "That's it foolish ex-student, keep thinking that I have no backup because it will be your undoing." Following the third Hokage's reflection, exam prompter Hyatt said, "Come down here, Fu of the Waterfall versus Akatsuchi of Hidden Rock Village." The two then made their way to the center of the Chunin exams arena, where Hyatt asked, "Is there anything you wish to say to each other before the match can begin?" Fu responded, "I am fighting for those who are like me and you better not take it easy on me." When Fu of the Waterfall finished speaking, Akatsuchi said, "Fu-san, whatever you are fighting for, I am going to give it my all." Fu of the Waterfall then turned to face Naruto, who replied, "Fu of the Waterfall, my name is Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze, and don't let anyone mistreat you because we Jinchuriki are like a family of siblings." Fu of the Waterfall then said, Thank you Naruto-san. You were like a brother that I always wanted, but as Naruto gave him the thumbs up, he added, no need to thank me sis. We Jinchuriki are a family of siblings and no Jinchuriki will ever suffer the loneliness. Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze, a fellow Jinchuriki, believes in me and I will not let my siblings down no matter how much you possibly disagree, Fu of the Waterfall thought as he turned to face Akatsuchi. Nanabe responded, Warden. I sense Shukaku and Kyuubi, and after making a few hand gestures, Fu of the Waterfall struck Akatsuchi with an air slash while shouting, Wind-style air slash jutsu. After Fu of the Waterfall slashed Akatsuchi with her air, Akatsuchi was about to jump when she made a few hand gestures and Akatsuchi rock slammed her. Akatsuchi then yelled, Earth-style rock slam jutsu, and got up, pointing her entire fist at Akatsuchi as the hornbill beetle insects responded with the inner courage of the waterfall that at last shone like the Jinchuriki's wool of iron. Shino, however, was interested in the insect species that had finally revealed itself. Shino watched the match with interest as he memorized the information he could learn. The waterfall's Fu made a hand sign and then struck Akatsuchi with a beetle strike while shouting, Insect Jutsu Beetle Strike. After the waterfall's beetle struck Akatsuchi, the waterfall's Fu detected Shino's presence and Akatsuchi tried to hit Fu with a rock strike until hornbill beetles surrounded Fu as Fu yelled, Insect Jutsu Beetle Dome. As the waterfall made another hand sign, the waterfall blasted Akatsuchi with insect cannon while shouting, Insect Cannon. Fu of the waterfall thought, I feel like I am worn out and that Shinobi from Hidden Rock Village is a tough one, after Akatsuchi was cannoned by an insect. Akatsuchi then thought, damn she is a tough opponent and if I am going to win I need to brave up by pulling off some good jutsu. Nanabe responded, Warden, don't worry. The solution to your worn out like condition is covered, which made Fu of the waterfall think, Nanabe-san, I need some chakra. Following Fu of the waterfall's thought, some of Nanabe's chakra began to flow through Fu of the waterfall's chakra network. Afterward, Fu of the waterfall struck Akatsuchi while shouting, Dashing quick strike, and then leapt onto a tree branch, kicking him into a tree while shouting, Flying kick. However, as Akatsuchi stood up, Fu of the waterfall created a few hand signs, preparing one more sign for a jutsu. As the waterfall's Fu made one more hand sign, he used an insect boomerang to defeat Akatsuchi. After Akatsuchi received the insect boomerang, the exam prompter said, Winner of the match, Fu of the waterfall. Then, Fu of the waterfall went up with Akatsuchi, and Naruto and Gaara both applauded him. However, the three Jinchuriki looked at each other and thought, Sibling good luck because two of us three might have to face each other in the next round of Chunin exams. Especially that if two of us three have to face each other, it will not be an easy match. The three Jinchuriki returned to their respective teams after Naruto said, Greetings, Fu of the waterfall. I am Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze the Jinchuriki of Nine-Tailed Fox Demon. Gaara responded, I am Gaara Sabuko the Jinchuriki of Shukaku the Raccoon Dog Demon. Then, Fu of the waterfall said, My name is Fu and I am Jinchuriki of Nanabe the Seven-Tailed Hornbill Beetle Demon. Orochimaru thought, Someone is foiling my plan and once I find out who that person is along with you foolish sensei will die. Fake Kazekage responded, That was an interesting match Lord Hokage. They both have shown such interesting skills except they might still need to learn. The third Hokage, Horizon, then said, I agree with you Lord Kazekage that the match was interesting and Fu of the waterfall is certainly an interesting kunoichi. The third Hokage Horizon then thought, Foolish ex-student, there is no way your plan will work thanks to Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze's son two greatest shinobi of Hidden Leaf Village. When the third Hokage Horizon finished speaking, he said, There is only one match left and one it sure be an interesting event Lord Kazekage. The fake Kazekage responded, I agree with you Lord Hokage that will be an interesting match and I was hoping Survivor of Uchiha still be in Chunin exams except this match of Chunin exams is finished. Exam prompter Hyatt then stated, People that still in Chunin exams are Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze of Namikaze Clan, Fu of the Waterfall, Gaara Sabuko, and Tamari Sabuko. Following the third Hokage's speech, everyone went home to sleep. The following day, Naruto got out of bed, changed into his ninja gear, and went from the bedroom to the kitchen. However, as soon as he got there, he began preparing some breakfast ramen and a glass of milk. Naruto felt his Senju clan bloodline begin to awaken as he was eating breakfast. He then thought, okay, I am no longer summoner of Death Reaper Shinigami and that means I can't summon any fallen shinobi except that does not scare me because I will never give up no matter what. He later thought, Senju clan bloodline has finally truly awakened and that means I can do wood-style jutsu and that means time I create my own jutsu. In order to find someone to teach him water-style jutsu, Naruto activated his Byakugan. Naruto went in search of a sensei to teach him water-style jutsu after deactivating his Byakugan. After 25 minutes, he stopped looking for a sensei and thought, I can't find someone that is willing to teach me water-style jutsu. A few people approached Naruto, but as soon as they took off their masks, Naruto exclaimed, Mom and Dad, you're alive again, but how is that even possible? Afterwards, Minato clarified, that my son was gift from Death Reaper Shinigami and I see that you have your own Byakugan, which Naruto clarified. A Hyuga donated some blood to basically save me and that Hyuga had the same type of blood as me plus my blue Byakugan as a result of that operation. Then Kushina responded, good to hear that certain people obeyed our wish and now we're back, you will never again be lonely. And Naruto responded, cool, and I can't wait to try your cooking, Mom, because the only thing I know is how to cook ramen. Hinata Hyuga is my girlfriend and I love her, but the problem is that her father along with her clan's elders forced her to marry Kazuki Stone due to arranged marriage, Naruto said as the Namikaze clan returned to Namikaze estate. Once there, they entered the estate and Naruto turned to face his parents. Don't worry, son, they're not going to get away with that because they can't have what they want when it is up to Hinata-san to decide who she wants to be with, Minato responded. After Minato finished speaking, Kushina went to the kitchen to begin preparing food, and Naruto accompanied his father, Minato Namikaze, into the Namikaze garden. When they got there, Minato asked, right, son, what jutsus do you know? Naruto replied, I know Rasengan, Lightning Thunder God Jutsu, 3 Wind Style Jutsus, 3 Fox Fist Taijutsu moves, 2 Water Style Jutsu, and I know some other jutsus including Sealing Jutsu. Minato then said, okay, son, we are going to finish the Rasengan and work on a jutsu I learned with your mother. Danzo asked, what do you have to report, Maikuchi? When an Anbu member arrived at Anbu Root Base. Maikuchi responded, Namikaze Air has been progressing and Survivor of Uchiha has also been progressing. Danzo said, good work, Maikuchi. I'll call you when I have another mission for you. However, as Maikuchi departed, Danzo reflected, if it weren't for you, Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze would have been in my Anbu Root Force, but now he is progressing well. When they were back with the Namikaze clan, Minato said, alright, son, the first thing is to form the Rasengan. They both did so, and then Minato said, add your affinity into the Rasengan and see if change from a Rasengan into its completed form. Naruto then gave his Rasengan wind affinity, which transformed it into a shuriken, while Minato's own Rasengan changed into an electrical orb, which is slightly different in shape from what Rasengan is. As the two Namikaze men were about to sit down, Kushina entered the Namikaze garden and declared, dinner is ready and son, you'll love what I made for dinner since your father did like my cooking. After the Rasengan's shape, Naruto said, I call this Rasen Shuriken, to which Minato replied, I have finally completed it and I call my jutsu Rasen Shock. Then, Naruto Rasen shocked a training dummy as Minato yelled, Wind-style Rasen Shuriken. Following Kushina's speech, the Namikaze clan went into the living room to eat dinner together. After 15 minutes, they finished, and Naruto said, Mom, that was delicious, and Dad, I hand leadership of our clan back to you until I come at an age where I become leader of our clan with you two as elders of our clan. Minato responded, that is fine with me, son. I am planning to hand leadership of Namikaze clan to you when you reach the age of 16. Afterwards Naruto said, that I agree and I am going to surpass not only you Dad, I am going to surpass you too Mum, because I never give up no matter what, that is my ninja way. Which Kushina responded, you might be able to surpass us son, except you still need to defeat 9-tailed demon fox in order to truly surpass us. Then Naruto pondered, Kyuubi-san, someday I will defeat you and when that day comes I will give it my best no matter how challenging you are. So Kyuubi responded, when that day comes Warden, bring it on, because I will not take it easy on you. Following Kyuubi's speech, Naruto retired to his own room while his parents went into the room where he slept. 7 days later, the Namikaze clan awoke, and they all had breakfast together before preparing to travel to Chunin Exam Arena to watch the 2 matches before the championship match. After Naruto's parents put their mask back on as they left the Chunin Exams Arena, Naruto went to his team and said, Hinata-chan Shinigami gave me back my parents as a gift before releasing me from his summoning contract, and I trust you not tell anyone of my parents' return. This prompted Hinata to respond, you can trust me Naruto-kun, and I will not tell anyone that your parents have returned Naruto-kun, because no matter what, that is our ninja way. When the exam prompter said, semifinals time, and first is match of Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze of Namikaze clan versus Tamari Sabuko of Hidden Sand Village, Naruto grinned proudly. The exam prompter then said, Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze and Tamari Sabuko, come down here. Tamari then descended to the center of the Chunin Exams Arena. But just as the prompter was about to speak, a flash of orange caused Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze to appear there. Following Naruto's appearance in the middle of Chunin exam's arena, the exam prompter whispered, "Naruto-san, you have formed a spy network as a temporary. We will forever believe you as our spy master because Izabuza Momochi will keep the spy network alive." The exam prompter then asked, "Is there anything you wish to say to each other before the match can begin?" Naruto replied, "Tamari-san, I wish you good luck because I will never give up no matter what." Tamari responded, "I refuse to give up because as long as my brothers believe in me, I cannot lose." Following Tamari's speech, the exam prompter said, "Begin." Naruto then made a hand gesture and yelled, "Wind-style air shuriken." Tamari then threw an air shuriken at Naruto, who responded with wind scythe jutsu. Naruto pulled out a tri-pronged kunai and threw it after Tamari blocked his wind style jutsu with her own wind style jutsu. Naruto then orange flashed to throw the tri-pronged kunai, and he dove down to hit Tamari with an Uzumaki drill strike. As he did so, he yelled, "Uzumaki-style taijutsu Uzumaki drill strike." Naruto thought, "Okay, I am up against a long-range fighter and if I am going to win this match to fight one of my two fellow Jinchuriki, I need to pull off some long-range jutsus." After hitting Tamari with the Uzumaki drill strike and bouncing over to where he was standing, Naruto then put his tri-pronged kunai back into his weapon pouch. Following some introspection, Naruto came up with a plan and made a few hand gestures before attacking Tamari with wind-style gale air bullets. As he shouted, "Wind-style air bullets," Tamari attempted to attack Naruto with her fan, but as soon as he grinned, he pulled out a tri-pronged kunai. Tamari was about to hit Naruto with her fan when Naruto yelled, "Lightning Thunder God Jutsu." By using this technique, Naruto was able to avoid Tamari's attack. Then, turning around, Naruto made a series of hand gestures, but as he made one more, he water shuriken Tamari by shouting, "Water-style water shuriken." After Naruto water shuriken Tamari, Naruto said, "You are definitely a tough kunoichi, and even though you are not from Hidden Leaf Village, I can see the will of fire deep in you." Tamari responded, "If you had been a resident of Hidden Sand Village, you would have been an excellent shinobi of Hidden Sand Village." Naruto then removed a second tri-pronged kunai, striking Tamari with the Dance of the Red Death while shouting, "Dance of the Red Death." This allowed Naruto to defeat Tamari with Rasengan. The exam prompter said, "Winner of the match and who was in the final match Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze," after Naruto had defeated Tamari. At the same time, Tamari had returned to her own team. At the cage box, 3rd Hokage Horizon said, "4th Hokage and Red Death's own son is in the final round of Chunin exams, but who do you think he will face in the final match?" To which fake Kazekage responded, "I think it is going to be my son who is going to face Minato's son and Naruto-san is one who is Chunin rank material." The 3rd Hokage, Horizon, thought, "You did not expect Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze to get into the final round of Chunin exams and Orochimaru, my foolish ex-student, your plan will positively fail." Orochimaru, on the other hand, thought, "Blast, the 4th Hokage's son managed to get to the final round of Chunin exams and I hoped my praise Sasuke Uchiha get into the final round of Chunin exams except thanks to blasted 4th Kazukage's son that was unable to happen." Naruto then orange flashed over to his parents, who said, "Well done son, we are proud of you, and if you keep up, you'll be leader of our clan at an earlier age instead of 16 years old." After his parents' words, Naruto responded, "I am looking forward to facing a fellow Jinchuriki and it is going to be challenging except they both might have better control of their tailed beast." Kyuubi responded, "They both have equal amount of control and especially that their seal has been fixed from a faulty condition it used to be." Naruto thought, "That is good because going up against one of your fellow tailed beasts is not something I'd wish to do until I have much better control of your power." Naruto then said, "I am going back to my team because I have a feeling last match of this round of Chunin exams is about to be called." But his parents nodded proudly to him as he orange flashed back to his team. When Naruto returned to his team, he approached Hinata and kissed her on the lips. He then said, "Hinata-chan, I love you and I would dare to fight your father just to protect you or better yet, say the words I reject to this union." When someone asked if anyone rejected this union, Hinata replied, "Naruto-kun, I will be in a year or so unless it is in 3 years' time." The couple then held hands while grinning bravely. As everyone calmed down, the exam prompter stated, "This round's final match pits Gaara Sabuko of Hidden Sand Village against Fu of the Waterfall, and the winner will face Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze of Namikaze Clan in the final match of Chunin exams." The exam prompter then said, "Gaara Sabuko and Fu of the Waterfall come down." Two Jinchuriki then descended to the center of the Chunin exams arena, and the exam prompter asked, "Is there anything you two wish to say to each other before this match can begin?" Gaara said, "Jinchuriki sibling Fu, good luck because the winner of this match will face Jinchuriki sibling Naruto in the final round of Chunin exams," after the exam prompter had finished speaking. Fu responded, "Thank you, Jinchuriki sibling Gaara, and good luck to you too, because this is going to be a tough match, especially that both of us only have a certain amount of control on our tailed beast." The exam prompter then said, "Begin," and the two Jinchuriki respectfully gave each other thumbs up. Following the thumbs up from the two Jinchuriki, Gaara made a few hand gestures and attacked Fu with wind style air bullets, shouting, "Wind style air bullets." Then, Fu of the waterfall made a few hand gestures and counterattacked with wind style air boomerangs, shouting, "Wind style air boomerangs." Both Jinchuriki grinned and nodded, indicating that they acknowledged each other's strength. The two Jinchuriki nodded to one another, and Gaara thought, "Shukaku, lend me some chakra." Some of Shukaku's chakra began to flow through Gaara's chakra network, and Fu thought, "Nanabi, lend me some chakra." However, as Fu began to form some hand signs, Gaara also began to form some hand signs. The two Jinchuriki went to attack each other taijutsu to taijutsu, but as they both pulled out a kunai, they went to attack each other kunai to kunai in the hopes that the other would make a mistake. This happened as Fu formed the last hand sign and then attacked Gaara with wind-style air blast, which Fu of the waterfall air blasted Gaara with. Then, Gaara yelled, "Wind-style sandblast." Following a brief kunai.to kunai spar, Gaara shouted, "Jinchuriki sibling Fu-san. Let's go out with a bang of respect." Fu responded, "Okay, Jinchuriki sibling Gaara, let's do it." The two Jinchuriki then began to make hand gestures, and just as Fu was about to defeat Gaara with wing-style air missiles, Gaara yelled, "Wind-style sandblaster." The third Hokage, Horizon, said, "Your son managed to get into final match and it looks like your son and Minato's son are going to face each other in final match." Then, after Gaara defeated Fu of the waterfall exam, the prompter said, "The one who is going to face Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze and winner of this match Gaara Sabuko of Hidden Sand Village." Fake Cage responded, "My son facing against Minato's son is going to be one heck of a match. But can Minato's son defeat my son or will my son defeat Minato's son?" Orochimaru thought, "My plan to have Sasuke Uchiha in the final match ruined, but lucky my other plan is not ruined," after which the third Hokage Horizon thought, "Foolish ex-student Orochimaru, you have no idea that it is thanks to Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze and your plan to end me is going to be foiled by Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze." The third Hokage then said, "Lord Cage, I have an idea for an exhibition match and I have a perfect sort of match that is worth witness." Fake Cage then asked, "Explain this exhibition match, Lord Hokage, and who is going to be in this exhibition match?" Then third Hokage Horizon responded, "It is going to be a surprise and I will let Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze pick two people who is going to be paired up against the two Jonin ranked shinobi that I have in mind for this sort of special event," which Fake Cage responded, "I like the sound of this except I rather see the two Sasuke Uchiha a survivor of Uchiha clan pick instead of two Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze picked," followed by third Hokage Horizon thinking, "What you don't know foolish ex-student Orochimaru that the special event is actually a sort of a trap that not even my fallen sensei dared to try. Thereby, whatever you're planning foolish sensei it makes no difference because you will die while my shinobi kill people of Hidden Leaf Village except for Sasuke Uchiha be brainwashed by use of a forbidden jutsu I created." Exam prompter Orochimaru thought, "The final match of Chunin exams is going to take place in 2 days' time and it is going to be Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze of the Namikaze clan versus Gaara Sabuko of Hidden Sand Village." Everyone went home, with Naruto returning to Namikaze estate with his parents 15 minutes later. Naruto then turned to face them and said, "I am going to trust Lord Hokage Horizon the info that Shinigami returned you two back to me and Dad Pervy Sage writes those damn Icha books that I basically dislike." After Naruto spoke, Minato said, "My sensei writes Icha books. Well, I did not know that, and only book he wrote that we used to pick your name was from a book that Jiraiya sensei wrote, but the book Jiraiya sensei wrote was a book called Tale of Gutsy Ninja, a book unlike Icha that you call pervy books." Which Kushina said, "Jiraiya-san is lucky that I don't catch him peeping on bathhouses because if I did I'd show him why I am known as Red Hot Hanabello." Then Minato got Tale of Gutsy Ninja out of his drawer, so Minato said, "We picked your name from Tale of Gutsu Ninja and it is one book even your mother liked reading when I am busy Lord Hokage Horizon Death Reaper Shinigami gave my MTY parents back and I am no longer summoner of Death Reaper Shinigami, but I still have access to sealing jutsu to call Death Reaper Shinigami, was Naruto's statement after Minato finished speaking. Naruto then proceeded from Namikaze Estate to the Hokage office, arriving 20 minutes later. Following Naruto's speech, the third Hokage, Horizon, said, "That is wonderful, Naruto-san. It means that you are no longer lonely, and I will not tell anyone because it is up to you to share this information out. But I like you to pick 2 shinobi to face couple Jonin ranked shinobi I have chosen." Naruto responded, "I pick my parents and they will both wear Anbu mask that they used to wear when they were Anbu." Then, in a flash of orange, Naruto returned to Namikaze Estate to tell his parents the good news. "Lord Hokage allowed me to pick 2 shinobi to face the 2 Jonin that he picked and I picked you 2 plus Lord Hokage Horizon told me that he is letting you 2 reveal yourself when you feel like it," Naruto said, looking at his parents. Minato responded, "It has been a while since I've been in a match and it is going to be fun." Kushina then added, "All 3 of us need to get some training and it will be fun, believe it." As a result, the Namikaze clan retired to their room to sleep, but they woke up the following day. When the Namikaze clan came to, Minato said, "We are going to teach you a jutsu called Piecing Whirlpool and Raging Strike because these 2 jutsus were not jutsu we wrote on the jutsu scroll, after they had eaten some breakfast ramen and changed from their pajamas to their ninja gear." Afterward, the Namikaze clan entered the Namikaze clan garden. Following Minato's speech, Kushina clarified that, "Piecing Whirlpool is one of my jutsu and Raging Strike is one of your father's jutsu." Naruto then trained with his parents for 3 hours until he was able to successfully remove his parents' jutsu. The following day, the Namikaze clan left for the Chunin exams arena, where everyone else was waiting. Exam prompter Iruka then stated, "Today there is going to be 2 matches and we will start with an exhibition match of 2 selected shinobi versus 2 Jonin of Hidden Leaf Village." After Naruto returned to his team, exam prompter Iruka asked, "Is there anything you wish to say before the exhibition match can begin?" Minato responded, "Kakashi Hitaki, I am surprised that Lord Hokage Horizon picked you to take part in this exhibition match." Naruto had escorted his parents to the center of the Chunin exams arena when 2 Jonin from Hidden Leaf Village arrived, followed by 4 shinobi. After Minato finished speaking, Kakashi said, "Lord Hokage told me Naruto-san picked 2 rather special people and I will not use my fallen teammate's eye." Kushina responded, "Asuma-san, Lord Hokage Horizon made a wise choice to pick you to be in this exhibition match and this exhibition match is going to be fun, believe it." Asuma then added, "This event will be something to remember and it might not be easy to defeat you 2, especially since we don't know who you 2 are." Therefore, while Kakashi was preparing a Chidori, Minato began forming a Rasengan, knowing that only Rasengan could counter the Chidori. When Kakashi attempted to hit Minato with a Chidori, Minato yelled, "Rasengan!" and Kushina used water style water wall jutsu to block Asuma's fire style burning ash. Kakashi then said, "Asuma, I have no idea who our opponent is except they have managed to block our attack. Heck, even my own jutsu been blocked with Jutsu Jiraiya taught Naruto-san." Asuma responded, "I get the same feeling and whoever the 2 opponents we are facing they are incredibly skilled," which made Naruto's parents think, "Okay, it's time to finish this match and give everyone one heck of a shock." Following Naruto's parents' shock, they began to make hand signals, of which Minato made the final one. Then, Kushina defeated Asuma with the Uzumaki Kenjutsu-style dance of the Red Death, shouting, "Uzumaki-style Kenjutsu dance of the Red Death," and Minato defeated Kakashi Hitaki with a Lightling-style flying swallow. Iruka said, "The winner of the experiment matches the 2 shinobi that Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze selected and you 2 reveal to us who you are," after which Naruto's parents removed their mask. Minato then remarked, "Kakashi, my student, you have done well except I am annoyed with the mistreatment that my son gotten." Kushina responded, "I am also annoyed and if I knew my son was going to be mistreated I would have let my former hotel guest do damage to Hidden Leaf Village." At the cage box fake Cage asked, "How is even possible that your successor and his wife returned when they died from protecting this village, which third Hokage?" Horizon replied, "Oh, that is one of the mysteries that I can't even answer because I did not know how it is even possible." Then Orochimaru pondered, "It has to be something that blasted kid Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze done because if his parents have not returned my plan would have not got any more foiled than it is now." Thus third Hokage Horizon speculated, will he retake the position of 4th Hokage or will he pick his successor to take the role of 5th Hokage? As they returned to their seats with Naruto's parents, the exam prompter announced, "Okay everyone, the final match of the Chunin exams is going to start soon and people of Hidden Leaf Village rejoice return of Lord Hokage Minato along with his wife Lady Kushina." Everyone was shocked, with the exception of those in Hidden Rock Village, who at last chose to put aside their animosity toward the Namikaze clan. Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze then prepared to descend to the center of the Chunin exams arena with his fellow Jinchuriki Gaara Sabuko. As the two Jinchuriki exchanged glances, Naruto said, "Good luck, Jinchuriki sibling Gaara. Don't be easy on me." Gaara responded, "You don't be easy on me, Jinchuriki sibling Naruto, because only one of us will win the match." The two Jinchuriki then shook hands in a respectful gesture before turning to face exam prompter Iruka. The two reflected. First we met as fellow exam participants. Now we face each other as sixth Kage to be because to be Kage is my dream. Exam prompter Iruka said, "Final match of Chunin exams Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze heir of the Namikaze clan versus Gaara Sabuko of the Hidden Sand Village," after the two Jinchuriki had given it some thought. This was followed by Iruka saying, "Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze and Gaara Sabuko come down here." Both Jinchuriki then came down to the center of Chunin exams together, and as they turned to face one another, she asked, "Is there anything you wish to say to each other before this match can begin?" Exam prompter Iruka said, "This is it, Gaara. It's time for us to shine and show people that we are not the tailed beasts that people accuse us Jinchuriki to be." Gaara responded, "I agree with you, Jinchuriki sibling Naruto, because I will be Kazekage someday and I expect when I become Kazekage you become Hokage because the bond of friendship we formed our village will be allies not by force but by true path of peace." Exam prompter Iruka then said, "Begin." Naruto then began practicing taijutsu after taijutsu with his fellow Jinchuriki Gaara, knowing that they were on equal footing. When Gaara's siblings were around, they both noticed that Gaara was grinning. Tamari said, "Kunkuro, look, our brother Gaara is grinning, and it is not due to Shukaku leaking small bit of his chakra because that smile our brother Gaara is showing it looks like Gaara is actually happy but who knows Gaara might actually make a good Kazekage someday." Then, with two Jinchuriki, Gaara attacked Naruto with sand shurikens as Gaara yelled, "Sand shurikens." Naruto then made a hand sign, but just as he was about to be hit by Gaara's sand shurikens, he blocked the sand shurikens with air shurikens, shouting, "Wind-style air shurikens." "Wind-style gale force," was yelled by both Jinchuriki as they formed a couple of hand signs. Then, Naruto said, "You're good Gaara and who knows we might end up becoming Kage at the same time." Gaara responded, "Yeah, that would be good and I think I know who is my father's successor who becomes the fifth Kazekage." Following Gaara's words, the two Jinchuriki went kunai to kunai in the hopes of winning using only the art of Kenjutsu. Gaara said, "Let's take this up a notch Jinchuriki sibling Naruto and show everyone that we the son of fourth Kage is someone not to be mistreated for something that we only become by choice," as the two Jinchuriki put their kunai back into their weapon pouch. Gaara then began to form some hand signs, and Naruto followed suit, yelling, "Wind-style air blast," as they formed the final hand sign. Afterward, they blocked each other's air blast with wind-style air blast. Gaara thought, "Shukaku, I need some chakra because my opponent is Jinchuriki of Nine-Tail Fox Demon Kyuubi," to which Shukaku replied, "Very well, Warden, use it well because I will not accept that my Jinchuriki is a weakling." Naruto then thought, "Kyuubi, I need some chakra because knowing fellow Jinchuriki Gaara, he asked his tailed beast Shukaku for some chakra. Kyuubi responded, "Kyuubi, I need some chakra because I can't accept that you are a weakling." Following Kyuubi's speech, the two Jinchuriki sensed that their tailed beast's chakra was flowing through their chakra network. Gaara then used a strong jutsu sand boom to attack Naruto, ultimately defeating him with a Fox Fist Art Flash Palm as Naruto yelled, "Fox Fist Art Flash Palm." Exam prompter Iruka then stated, "Winner of the match and Chunin exams Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze of the Namikaze clan," which prompted Naruto to respectfully shave hands with Gaara. "I had a feeling that you show yourself and I knew that you were disguised as 4th Kazekage thanks to a rather certain shinobi of Hidden Leaf Village. Especially that thanks to that shinobi alone my village was prepared for this," said 3rd Hokage Horizon as the situation at the cage box was going well until fake Kazekage led him onto the roof of the cage box, where Orochimaru's Sound 4 appeared. The Sound then formed a few hand signals, so Sound 4 yelled, sealing jutsu all 4 wall. Following the 3rd Hokage Horizon's speech, Orochimaru said, "While we have this dance, my shinobi start doing damage to Hidden Leaf Village." Orochimaru then made some hand gestures and said, "Forbidden Jutsu Reanimation." 2 caskets emerged from the ground, and when they opened, the first Hokage, Hashirama, and his brother, Tobirama, the second Hokage, emerged. However, as the 2 resurrected cages emerged from the caskets, the 3rd Hokage extracted the Prom kunai that Naruto had given him. When the 3rd Hokage emerged with a Pronged kunai that Naruto had given him, Hashirama Senju asked, "Horizon, why am I back in the land of the living?" To which the third Hokage Horizon replied, "Lord Hokage Hashirama, you and Tobirama Sensei were summoned by a forbidden jutsu that my former student used." Tobirama Senju then remarked, "My student Horizon, we have no control what he do due to this jutsu because the one use this forbidden jutsu the reanimated shinobi be forced to do what summoner commands." Thus, the third Hokage Horizon tree try. Pronged kunai at the wall to summon a reinforcement, just like Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze. Orochimaru laughed after the third Hokage Horizon threw a try. Pronged kunai. Orochimaru then asked, "Horizon Sensei, are you trying to break a barrier that can't be broken by a kunai?" To which the third Hokage Horizon responded, "I did not try to break this barrier because what I did was called for backup." In an orange flash, Naruto teleported from the center of Chunin exams to the area where the third Hokage is standing. "I was hoping you summoned them too because I have an advantage in this battle," Naruto said after laughing in response to Orochimaru's question, "What is Finny boy?" Hashirama Senju then asked, "What do you mean little one?" To which Naruto replied, "Lord Hokage Hashirama Senju, I am descendant of your wife Mito Uzumaki Senju, the original nine-tailed Jinchuriki, plus I have what you could say family heirloom as I am the third nine-tails Jinchuriki. Lord Hokage Horizon, I am going to try something to tip this back in our favor," Naruto said after placing his try. Pronged kunai. "Alright, Naruto, I will do what I can to buy you time." However, as Orochimaru placed a control like a tag into the skulls of two Hokages to restore them to their former glory, the third Hokage Horizon threw some kunai at two reanimated Hokages. When Tobirama Senju made a hand sign, he shouted, "Water-style water wall," and he used a wall of water to protect his brother. The third Hokage, Horizon, then tried to use some taijutsu to attack him, but Hashirama Senju stopped him. Naruto said, "Lord Hokage Horizon, I am ready and I know what I need to do in order to stop this destruction Rogue Sannin have caused." As two reanimated Hokages were about to attack, Horizon was about to get in the way until Naruto made the final hand sign. After forming the final hand sign, Naruto yelled, "Water-style whirlpool trap jutsu," which caused the two reanimated Hokages to be trapped in the whirlpool. Orochimaru then formed a couple of hand signs and struck Naruto with striking shadow snakes. Orochimaru then yelled, "Striking shadow snakes," but the two reanimated Hokages broke out of the whirlpool trap and proceeded to attack Naruto using the combined might of their two jutsu. However, as Naruto assumed a familiar stance, he said, "Orochimaru, what makes a shinobi is not mastery of all jutsu or immortality, because what makes a shinobi is the will to never give up, and as long I have the will of fire I will never give up no matter how much I am at some sort of disadvantage." Following his speech, Naruto used a great deal of Seijakura to form some hand signs. He then yelled, "Water-style whirlpool trap jutsu," which allowed him to capture two reanimated Hokages in a whirlpool trap. This time, however, Naruto made the whirlpool stronger. As he formed a few hand signs, he yelled, "Sealing Jutsu Guardian Soul." Rogue Sannin Orochimaru, there is no escape, and with the two reanimated Hokages back to their grave you will pay for all the wrongdoing that you have caused, because it is I that foiled your place, and to destroy Hidden Leaf Village. Naruto then made a few hand gestures before activating his dojutsu and yelling, "Byakugan," as he swiftly placed a Guardian Soul on two reanimated Hokages and sent them back to their original location. Once he activated his blue Byakugan, Naruto assumed the stance his ancestor Mito Uzumaki Senju had used. He then began to strike Orochimaru's chakra points, striking Orochimaru's final chakra point while shouting, "Fox Fist Art Fox Trigrams 64 bolts." However, as he retreated, Naruto remarked, "I have blocked each of your chakra points, and since all 64 of your chakra points have been blocked you can't do any more damage until your chakra points are automatically unblocked, but I am not letting that happen because I know the one forbidden jutsu that you don't know. It is the one jutsu my father used to seal Nine-Tail Fox Demon, and I would kill you with this jutsu, except I rather have you suffer by having your forbidden jutsu sealed up," Naruto said in response to Orochimaru's statement, "A forbidden jutsu I don't know well boy, mind if you explain." Naruto then made a few hand gestures and yelled, "Sealing Jutsu Death Reaper Seal." As Death Reaper Shinigami appeared, he said, "Naruto-san, what do you need me to do?" Following the Death Reaper Shinigami's speech, Naruto explained, "I like to seal up as much of Rogue Sannin Orochimaru's forbidden jutsu as possible." To which Shinigami replied, "Very well Naruto-san, I shall take away much of that mortal's forbidden jutsu as possible, and where do you want seal that mortal's forbidden jutsu?" Naruto responded, "I like seal as much of Orochimaru's forbidden jutsu into your stomach." However, As the Death Reaper Shinigami acknowledged Naruto's explanation, Naruto began removing as much of Orochimaru's forbidden jutsu as he could until he had taken away enough of Orochimaru's forbidden jutsu that Rogue Sannin temporarily lost his ability to use his arms. Orochimaru said, "I will have my revenge, and mark my words, Hidden Leaf Village will be destroyed," as Sound 4 undid their jutsu. Then, Sound 4 attacked Orochimaru and his remaining shinobi withdrew back to Hidden Sound Village. Meanwhile, at the roof of the cage box, 3rd Hokage Horizon said, "Well done Naruto-san, and I gladly promote you as Jonin rank shinobi." When the 3rd Hokage Horizon handed Naruto a Chunin rank jacket and a Jonin rank passport, Naruto said, "Thank you, Lord Hokage Horizon. When it comes to team selection, I plan to have your grandson along with 2 of his friends as my 3 students." The 3rd Hokage Horizon responded, "My grandson would like that have you as his sensei, and I am sure that you would make a good sensei to my grandson's 2 friends." After everyone left for a little rest, Naruto thought, "Excellent, I am 1 rank closer to finally becoming the 6th Hokage, and I hope that Gaara has also become a Jonin rank shinobi." When Naruto woke up the following day, he changed out of his pajamas and put on his ninja gear before going from his bedroom to the living room. When he got to the kitchen, he read the note that read, "Dear Naruto, we have gone on a mission together, and if anything happens to us, a messenger toad will inform you what happened to us. Yours truly, your mother and father." After reading it, Naruto thought, "I hope my mother and father get back okay because I can't lose them again." The messenger toad then said, "Naruto-san, I am sorry your parents were killed by the leader of Akatsuki Madara Uchiha, and your own bloodline should finally be awakened as Wood-style bloodline no longer be active." Naruto then said, "Thank you messenger toad for the news, and now I need to be alone." The messenger toad then returned to Mount Mikoyobu, but as Naruto clenched his fist in anger, he thought, "Kyuubi, mark my words that bastard Madara Uchiha will pay for what he did, and Madara Uchiha will die." When Naruto's bloodline storm element bloodline finally awoke, a young fox the size of Akamaru entered his room and said in fox language, "Noble Shinobi-san, you need to get over to some church located half an hour from here because the unwanted wedding has been moved to this time, and an unwanted wedding at time like this sure means your V-Vixen is forced to marry someone who she does not even love." Naruto then made a hand sign and yelled, "Sexy Jutsu Naruto Laikana Kazama." "Why was this wedding now at time like this, Hiyashi-san?" Naruto asked after speaking, and he changed into Naruto Laikana Kazama. He then left his house and went straight to the location of the unwanted wedding, arriving 30 minutes later. Hiyashi responded, "It was moved to time like this because it was a request that we accepted," but as Naruto took his seat, a priest said, "Welcome to the wedding of Kazuki Stone and Hinata Hyuga." "Kazuki Stone, do you take Hinata Hyuga to be your loyal wedded wife to love and care?" the priest asked after he finished speaking. "I do," Kazuki replied. "All right. Hinata Hyuga, do you take Kazuki Stone to be your loyal wedded husband?" To which Hinata replied, "Maybe." "Is there anyone who rejects to this union?" the priest asked after Hinata's speech, which caused Naruto to laugh. "I reject to this union, and I Naruto Laikana Kazama, or shall I say Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze reject to this union," Naruto said, undoing his jutsu. Kazuki Stone turned to face Naruto, and Kazuki growled, "Namikaze, you dare foil this arranged marriage?" After Kazuki had spoken, Naruto responded, "I do dare. To foil this because you see Hinata Hyuga did not want to marry you, because you see Hinata Hyuga is the one I love, plus what boyfriend would I be if I allowed Hinata to suffer such a loveless marriage?" Then Hiyashi responded, "What gives you right to decide who my daughter Hinata wants to be with?" So Naruto responded, "I have same rights as you, and that is no rights, because if Hinata wishes to be with me or someone else, that is for Hinata herself to decide, but Hiyashi-san, I would not try anything against me if I was you, since trying something against me is same as signing your face with shame." After Naruto finished speaking, Hyuga Elder Herho asked, "What is that supposed to mean, boy?" Naruto responded, "Unlike you who set Hinata's marriage to someone she doesn't even love, I intend to honor Hinaji's wish to make Hinata happy, and if I have to face you in a little match, I will make the defeat you had against my father happen." Naruto then activated his blue Byakugan, saying, "Hiyashi-san, I give you a choice, test me in a taijutsu only match, or you leave me with no choice but to tell your own nephew something you hid from him." "What do you mean, what Uncle Hiyashi hid from me?" Neji asked after Naruto finished speaking. "Have you heard of Hidden Eddy Village, Neji?" Neji then asked, "Isn't that the village where the Uzumaki clan originally came from?" To which Naruto replied, "There was a Hyuga that was able to defeat your father, and there was a Hyuga that was able to defeat your uncle." Hiyashi then retorted, "You bluffing boy. You don't know anything of the 2 Hyugas that not only defeated me but also my brother Hisashi Hyuga." Neji, Your mother was Hanaicha Hyuga and her twin sister was Hanagi Hyuga, your mother's sister, Naruto said after Hiashi finished speaking. Do you have anything that belonged to my mother Hanaicha Hyuga? Neji asked, and Naruto took a scroll out of his secret pocket and gave it to him. However, as he deactivated his blue Byakugan, he said, there was some jutsu in that scroll your mother learned with your aunt Hinagi Hyuga. Alright, Hiashi-san, we're going to have this lil taijutsu only match, and place like this is not something to have taijutsu match unless you wish for enough audience witness your defeat by son of very shinobi defeated you in Chunin exams, Hiashi said as Neji put the scroll in his pocket. We're going to have this taijutsu only match outside, and I might even approve you to be my daughter's boyfriend unless my daughter Hinata disapproves of this match. Naruto followed Hiashi outside the church while Hyugas followed. When they got outside, Hiashi yelled, Byakugan, and Naruto yelled, Blue Byakugan. As Naruto activated his blue Byakugan, Hiashi also yelled, 8 trigrams 64 palms. After they were in their stance, Hiashi began hitting each of Naruto's chakra points until he countered with 64 bolts, and Naruto yelled, Fox Fist Art Fox trigrams 64 bolts. You're good Naruto, and perhaps I was wrong to have my daughter Hinata have her arranged marriage with Kazuki, but that does not mean I admit defeat because I am still standing, Hiashi said as they both struck each other's 64th chakra point. I admit you were right about our chakra points being blocked, but I am also still standing, Naruto replied. Then, assuming a different stance, Naruto yelled, Uzumaki-style Taijutsu Uzumaki Barrage, before defeating Hiashi Hyuga with the move. Knowing that Hiashi Hyuga is going through the same process, Naruto felt his chakra points begin to automatically unblock as everyone else left for the night. After arriving at his room, Naruto changed from his ninja gear to his pajamas and then got into bed, falling asleep in the hopes that the Hyuga clan would finally accept Hinata as she deserves. While he was asleep, Naruto was also considering what style jutsus he could create. When Naruto woke up the following day, he got out of bed and changed from his pajamas to his ninja gear. He then checked his eyes in the mirror to see that they were back to normal, but before leaving his bedroom, which had once been his parents' room, he decided it was time to eat breakfast and check if he had a mission. After reflecting, Naruto entered the kitchen, where he ate breakfast before leaving Namikaze Estate to go to the Hokage office. A few minutes later, Naruto reached the office, but Konohamaru greeted him with the words, Grandfather, I am here to challenge you for the role of 5th Hokage. Next, Naruto asked, Lord Hokage, are there any missions for me? To which the 3rd Hokage, Horizon, replied, I am sending you on a mission to bring back your father's successor Tsunade Senju, and you will be going with my other student Jiraiya unless you wish to take someone yourself. After Konohamaru finished speaking, Horizon said, Konohamaru, my grandson, you can't just be Hokage by defeating me, and like I once told you, there are no shortcuts. Naruto grinned and said, I would like to take Hinata Hyuga because Byakugan would be rather useful to help to find Tsunade Senju and Lord Hokage, whatever rank this is. I will leave soon. After leaving the Hokage building, Naruto proceeded to the Hyuga estate, but upon arriving, he saw that Hinata was finally receiving the recognition she so richly deserves. He knocked on the door in the hopes that Hinata would accompany him on a mission. I have a mission to bring back my father's successor Tsunade Senju, and Lord Hokage allowed me to pick Hinata-chan to join me in the mission, Naruto explained after Hiashi knocked on the door and opened it. Ah, Naruto-san, what brings you here? Hiashi then turned around and said, Hinata Naruto-san is outside waiting for you and he will inform you what is going on. Hey Naruto-kun, what brings you here? Hinata asked Naruto as she approached the door. Hinata-chan, I have a mission to bring back my father's successor Tsunade Senju, and I'd like you to join me on the mission to bring back my father's successor Tsunade Senju, a member of legendary Sannin. Okay, Naruto-kun, I will go with you, and when do we leave? Hinata replied. The couple then left for Tanzuka town, but as they approached, Jiraiya caught up with them. I might know where my teammate is, and Naruto-san, I got word that Akatsuki finally started making their move, Jiraiya said after catching up with the couple. Very well Jiraiya-san, you may go with us, and once we got to a town near Tanzuka town I am going to a hotel with Hinata-chan to discuss of a possible clan alliance, said Naruto. The three of them then left for a town near Tanzuka town, arriving 15 minutes later. However, as the couple entered a hotel room that Naruto's parents may have reserved for Naruto, Jiraiya went to find out where Tsunade was. When the couple got to their hotel room, they went to sit in a chair and unwind until someone knocked on the door. The couple got up and Naruto went to open the door, only to find 2 Akatsuki members there. As they both turned to face Naruto, the blue-skinned Akatsuki member remarked, Itachi let me chop a leg because 9-tailed Jinchuriki would escape, especially that Hyuga girl would go with him to protect him. That would not be necessary, Kisame, because we were ordered to take 9-tailed Jinchuriki undamaged, Itachi said after a blue-skinned Akatsuki member spoke. Itachi then activated his Sharingan, which changed to a Mangekyo Sharingan. Naruto looked into Itachi's eyes, unsure of why he had joined the Akatsuki. In the Genjutsu world, Naruto looked directly at Itachi, who said, I control everything for 24 hours, and I like to ask you a few questions, Naruto-san. Naruto answered, you're right about that, Naruto-san. And I like to ask you a few questions before I release you from my Tsukiyomi, and then grinned as he said, okay, let me get this straight, we are in something like a joined mindscape created when I made eye contact with your Mangekyo Sharingan. What is it that you want to know? Naruto asked after Itachi finished speaking. Are you going to continue a dangerous mission that your parents left you? Itachi asked. I am, and I know your mother was friends with my mother, but what is your next question? Naruto answered. Will you fight to protect those who are precious to you or get revenge on those who mistreated you? Itachi asked. Then Naruto responded, I will fight to protect those who is precious to me, and I would even protect those who mistreated me because I am going to be Hokage someday. To which Itachi responded, finally, if you was given a gift, would you use it to protect your village even if you're at the disadvantage? Then Naruto responded, I had my own version of Sharingan as a temporary dojutsu, and I had a temporary dojutsu, a pair of blue Byakugan, except if I was given a gift I would use it to protect everyone who is precious to me, even my own students that I will be getting due time. Itachi sent some of his power in the shape of a crow straight into Naruto's mouth after he spoke, and Naruto swallowed it in preparation for it to merge with his chakra system. Then, thinking of his father, Minato Namikaze, an image of him appeared, but Naruto retreated and said, Father Sho, why don't you show Itachi-san the way out? Very well, son, and as for you, Itachi-san, for trying to mess with my son's head, you must be punished, Minato said as he formed a Rasengan. Then, as Minato yelled, Rasengan, Minato struck Itachi with the Rasengan, and Itachi felt a little shocked that he had freed Naruto from his Genjutsu Tsukiyomi. Kisame, we best retreat. Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze is too powerful for us and we are not ready to fight him at the state that we are in, Itachi said upon hearing this. Kisame Hoshikage, wielder of sharks and sword Samahata, I suggest that you leave, and if you don't leave it will be me who you be up against, said a familiar voice in a cloudy mist that appeared after Itachi's words. The mist then cleared, and both Akatsuki members withdrew just before Jiraiya arrived to tell the couple where his teammate, the legendary Sanin Tsunade Senju, was. Tsunade is at a bar drinking away some sadness, Jiraiya explained after her arrival. Naruto responded, excellent, and time that we get over to Tsunade before rogue Sanin Orochimaru gets to her. Jiraiya then said, he better not get to Tsunade first, because if he does, who knows what traitor Orochimaru be up to. Hinata then commented, we better get over to Tanzuka town and stop Orochimaru from doing whatever cruel plan he has cooked up. The three of them ran all the way to Tanzuka town, where Naruto spotted what appeared to be Tsunade. When they reached Tsunade, Jiraiya said, Tsunade, you have been chosen to take the role of 5th Hokage, and it was a student of mine who picked you as his successor. Tsunade turned around, but when she saw Jiraiya with the couple, she said, I will not take the role of new Hokage, and Hokage is a fool's job, plus who's the 2 kids that you brought with you? Tsunade said, oi, you old bag, nobody calls the Hokage a fool, especially when my father was the one who selected you to be the 5th Hokage. Tsunade said, okay, kid, let's take this outside. Naruto then said, fine, you old bag, and don't complain when you lost, and the 2 of them left the bar. When the 2 arrived outside, Hinata and Jiraiya came out to watch Naruto battle Tsunade, and Shizune also came out to see what was happening. Tsunade asked, kid, before we start, why do you care about the role of the Hokage? To which Naruto replied, I care because unlike you, being Hokage is my dream, and I will never give up. That is my ninja way. Naruto then began to form a Rasengan, but as he ran to strike Tsunade with the Rasengan, Tsunade tried to hit Naruto with a powerful flick until Naruto hit Tsunade with the Rasengan while shouting, Rasengan. After Naruto hit Tsunade with the Rasengan, Tsunade stood up and asked, Jiraiya, why the hell did you teach him the Rasengan when not even Minato could finish it? Naruto then said, guess again, Tsunade-san, because I have actually finished it, and I tell you what, why don't I make a little bet with you unless you're afraid? Tsunade responded, you have guts, kid, making a bet against me, and you only a genin ranked shinobi while I am a sanin. As Naruto laughed, Tsunade asked, what's funny about the shinobi rank that you're in, kid? When Naruto ceased laughing, he clarified, I am a Jonin ranked shinobi, and if you look at my girlfriend, she is a Jonin ranked shinobi, which Hinata responded, I am actually still a genin ranked shinobi Tsunade-san, and what the point is that my boyfriend Naruto is not just leader of Namikaze clan, but there is something you don't even know. So Tsunade responded. What is it about you that I don't know, Naruto? Shortly thereafter Naruto clarified. I am the descendant of the original Nine Tails Jinchuriki Mito Uzumaki Senju, and it basically means I am related to you through your grandmother, who is my ancestor Mito Uzumaki Senju, original Nine Tails Jinchuriki. Tsunade said, your grandmother, my ancestor Mito Uzumaki Senju, created Uzumaki Healing Jutsu Min Eternal Regeneration, and it is basically a forbidden jutsu because if the jutsu is formed wrong we get opposite effect instead of healing effect. Naruto then lifted his ninja headband to reveal the same seal Tsunade had on her forehead. Grandmother was always a smart kunaichi, and grandmother dared to seal Nine-Tailed Demon Fox into herself, causing her to become the first Nine Tails Jinchuriki. Well, call me Tsunade Uzumaki Senju. After Tsunade finished speaking, Naruto asked, cousin, will you take on the role of being the 5th Hokage? To which Tsunade replied, I will decide in due time, cousin, and unfortunately, an ex-teammate Orochimaru needs me to heal his arms. Naruto then said, do not heal his arms, and the damage I did to Orochimaru's arms was done by very same jutsu my father made me into recent Nine Tails Jinchuriki. Jiraiya then used his chameleon jutsu, but as Naruto formed yet another hand sign, he whispered, Ninja Art Spy Fox Jutsu. The trio followed Tsunade to a large field where Orochimaru and Kabuto Yakushi were waiting. As they arrived, Orochimaru said, Ah, Tsunade, have you come to a decision? After Orochimaru finished speaking, Tsunade asked, what will you do if I decide to heal your arms, Orochimaru? Hinata used a jutsu that she had learned from her mother to make Naruto invisible. Then Orochimaru clarified, once my arms are healed, I am going to destroy Hidden Leaf Village and get revenge on the boy that foiled my plan to destroy Hidden Leaf Village, which Tsunade responded with, I refuse to heal your arms, Orochimaru, and I will protect Hidden Leaf Village not just as a Sannin but now as the 5th Hokage, and my successor is my grandmother's own descendant Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze. Followed by the trio undoing their jutsu. Ah, Orochimaru, how's your arms? Oh wait, you have most of your forbidden jutsu stripped away from you by same jutsu my father used to seal Nine-Tail Fox Demon into me. Orochimaru said, foiling my plan yet again, boy, by preventing Tsunade from healing my arms, after Naruto had finished speaking. Naruto responded, oh, I will do more than that, traitor, and I will never surrender no matter what, because to be Hokage, that is my dream. Orochimaru then said, Kabuto, do it, and Kabuto wiped some of his blood on Orochimaru's arms. However, as Kabuto formed some hand signs, the gift Itachi Uchiha had given Naruto's dojutsu, the Uzugen, returned. Summoning jutsu, Kabuto yelled as he slammed his hand down. This summoned the snake boss Manda, who was about to speak when Kabuto explained, Lord Manda, Lord Orochimaru is unable to use his arms thanks to that blonde boy Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze. Manda responded, very well, I expect a decent sacrifice as proof that you are willing to become a snake summoner. Kabuto then pointed to Naruto, saying, there is your sacrifice, and he is worth 1,000 of normal sacrifices that you usually demand. After Kabuto finished speaking, Manda said, very well, I accept your sacrifice, and as for you, boy, your lunch. Manda then proceeded to attack Naruto until Jiraiya called Gamabunta at the same moment that Tsunade called Katsuya. However, just as Manda was about to attack him again, a summoned fox and a nine-tailed demon vixen stopped him. The nine-tailed vixen then made a hand sign while saying, sealing jutsu acceptance of the Jinchuriki. Brave noble Kunoichi, I sense that you have strong goodwill in you, and that is why I have selected you to be what you could say hotel, but of course I always pay my rent in time, said the nine-tailed demon vixen, after which a seal appeared on Hinata's stomach. Naruto-san, we of the Fox Summons have been watching you, and we sensed that you have real strong will in you, that powerful enough that is actually rivaling Kyuubi's own, said Naruto. Nice to meet you, Fox-san, but at the moment there is a battle underway. Following his words, Kyuubi said, listen, Warden Fox Summon is going to help you and my mate who has chosen your girlfriend because Jinchuriki is equally powerful as I am. Thinking, I will trust you with this, and now Orochimaru will not escape from justice. Naruto leapt onto the head of Kyuubi's mate, but as the two foxes gazed up at the couple, Kyuubi's mate remarked, I am Kuni and I like you to be summoner of the foxes, since Naruto-san Jinchuriki of my mate is worthy to be fox summoner too. Following Kuni's speech, the fox summoner said, my name is Kubunta, and like your girlfriend Hinata, you may sign the fox summoning contract once this battle is over. Both foxes made a few hand gestures, and then Kuni fired a fox at Manda while shouting, fire style fox fireball, and Kubunta water blasted Manda while shouting, water style fox water bullet. However, just as Manda attempted a sneak attack, Gamabunta struck him with his blade while shouting, "Toad blade cut." After Gamabunta's toad blade hit Manda, Orochimaru said, "Manda destroy the blonde-haired boy Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze." Kyubunta made a few hand gestures, and then Fox called forth, "Ninja Art Fox Switch." As he vanished, a nine-tailed fox demon named Kyuubi emerged from Naruto's seal. However, as Kyuubi gazed at Manda, he thought, "Oh, this is going to be fun because not only I get to roast that snake, I get to crush his cruel summoner too." Tailed Beast Bomb. Kyuubi exclaimed as he began to channel some chakra into a ball in his mouth after speaking. Orochimaru snarled and said, "Mark my words, boy, don't ever foil any more of my plans because next time you do you will pay for it." Kyuubi then used the Tail Beast Bomb to defeat Manda, and he returned home inside Naruto. Kuni, on the other hand, vanished and only appeared in Hinata, where the seal is placed. Tsunade said, "Okay, time that we return to Hidden Leaf Village in Hinata. Once I officially became 5th Hokage, you will be promoted into Jonin rank Shinobi with legendary Sannin status as Naruto be given same legendary Sannin status." After Orochimaru ended the conversation, Naruto Rasen shurikened Orochimaru and Kabuto, and the two withdrew back to one of their bases. After deactivating his Uzugen, Naruto asked, "Is this a temporary dojutsu again or a real dojutsu of my own?" Kyuubi responded, "That is your own actual dojutsu. Thanks to the gift that Itachi gave you in Madara Uchiha's death, I can already taste it." Knowing that the joy of Madara Uchiha's suffering is too good not to dream about, Naruto and Kyuubi then went over to the Hokage balcony where the third Hokage, Horizon, was waiting. Tsunade yelled, "From now on I will do everything in my power to protect Hidden Leaf Village, and as granddaughter of Mito Uzumaki Senju I will do everything in my power to protect you all as I am Tsunade Uzumaki Senju, the 5th Hokage." Everyone cheered as retired Hokage Horizon placed the Hokage hat on Tsunade's head. The third Hokage, Horizon, said, "Tsunade, good thing you're here because I can finally resume my duties as elder of this village, but beware the enemy of all cage paperwork." Tsunade declared, "Hinata, you are now a Jonin rank shinobi, and Naruto, you along with Hinata now have legendary Sannin status, meaning you no longer need to ask to leave the Hidden Leaf Village for a training trip or anything like what Jiraiya has, after becoming the 5th Hokage." Hinata was then given a Jonin passport and a Chunin rank jacket with the Hyuga clan logo on her sleeves and the Uzumaki logo on the back. Naruto then said, "Thank you, cousin, for the legendary Sannin status," to which Hinata replied, "Thank you for the promotion, Lady Hokage Tsunade, for the promotion and legendary Sannin status." After Hinata finished speaking, she put on her Chunin rank jacket, and the couple received their Jonin rank passport. Naruto then said, "Hinata-chan, let's relax. Thanks to legendary Sannin status, we are completely safe from arranged marriages and you are safe from Clan Restoration Act." Naruto added, "That I am glad, and hopefully we can finally have our very own students, especially if we get the same 3 students." As he walked Hinata back to Hyuga Estate, he couldn't help but wonder if Hinata's clan was planning to have her arranged marriage with Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze, the Namikaze clan leader. When the couple got outside the Hyuga Estate, Hinata gave Naruto a kiss on the lips to thank him for taking her home. Unaware that the Hyuga elders and Hiyashi Hyuga were planning to arrange a marriage, but this time it was with Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze himself, and after wondering if he would be the chosen one, Naruto fell asleep. In a flash of orange, Naruto was teleported from his bed in Namikaze Estate. After waking up the following day and eating breakfast, Naruto heard a knock on the door. He went to answer it, and Hinata remarked, "Naruto-kun, Lady Hokage like to see us and it could be possible." The couple left Namikaze Estate for the Hokage office after Hinata spoke, and Naruto said, "Okay, Hinata-chan, let me get dressed and we will get over to Hokage office to see what cousin Tsunade wants." Naruto then hurried back to his room, changed out of his bedtime clothes, and then went back to Hinata. "What do you mean, Lady Tsunade, and when do we return to Hidden Leaf Village?" Hinata asked after the couple arrived at the Hokage office a few minutes later. Naruto asked, "Cousin Tsunade, what do you need?" Tsunade responded, "I called you two here because I am sending you two on a training trip, and it isn't like any training trip you had before." Following Hinata's speech, the 5th Hokage, Tsunade, explained, "There be a mission too, and only one you two can decide, take at your own time, much like we the legendary Sannin." The couple then left the Hokage office and went to the entrance of Hidden Leaf Village, from where they chose to go, and 3 years later, they returned to the Hokage office to report the success of the 3-year training trip. As Tsunade completed the paperwork, he said, "I am glad that you returned and like to see how improved you are, because I am going to set you two against a couple of your fellow Jonin rank shinobi." Naruto then asked, "Who are we going to be paired against, cousin Tsunade?" Tsunade replied, I have picked Might Guy and Kakashi Hitaki as two of your fellow Jonin rank shinobi. Hinata then asked, where is this going to take place, Lady Tsunade? To which Uzumaki Senju responded, it takes place in the very same training ground Lord Hokage Minato trained his 3 students when Lord Hokage Minato was a Jonin ranked shinobi. How is Kurenai sensei, and any good news that we don't know about? Hinata asked after Hokage Tsunade Uzumaki Senju finished speaking. The couple then proceeded to the training ground where he trained his 3 students. Upon arriving, they looked at their 2 fellow Jonin rank shinobi. Naruto then said, Kakashi Hitaki, my father's surviving student and Might Guy, father of Rock Lee Guy, I did not expect you two to be our opponents. Following Hinata's statement, Kakashi said, Kurenai-san is pregnant with Asuma-san's kid and you are both last of her team. Might Guy responded, my son Rock Lee has been doing well and we both have been training well to finally unlock 9th inner gate, the gate of life. Kakashi Hitaki and Might Guy prepared to defend themselves, activating their dojutsu since they knew it would be difficult to defeat 2 other Jonin ranked shinobi. When the 4 Jonin prepared to defend themselves, Might Guy kicked Naruto with Daimanic Entry while shouting, Daimanic Entry. Kakashi then proceeded to strike Naruto with a jutsu that was renamed from his previous name, Chidori, and said, Lightning Blade. Hinata then spun to block Kakashi's attack while shouting, 8 trigrams Twister Defense. Following Hinata's blocking of Kakashi's hand signals, Naruto began to form an electrical current. Similarly, Kakashi Hitaki created a Lightning Blade, which Naruto then proceeded to strike with the Lightning Blade while shouting, Lightning Blade. However, as he grinned, Naruto asked, how did you like your own creation, Kakashi-san? After speaking, Naruto made a few hand gestures and yelled, Storm-style Storm Ray. He then Storm Rayed Kakashi Hitaki, and when Hinata yelled, 8 trigrams Air Palm, he Air Palmed Might Guy. Naruto then used Water-style Whirlpool Slam to defeat Kakashi Hitaki. When Hinata shouted, 8 trigrams Air Palm, in response to Kakashi Hitaki's defeat, Kakashi responded, you two have done well and you certainly have improved, plus Naruto Minato-sensei would be proud of you for what you accomplished. Might Guy then remarked, the flame of youth burns incredibly bright and you two may have actually surpassed your parents with such great courage that burns incredibly bright. The couple then said, thank you fellow Jonin, and you two have improved nicely. The two returned to Namikaze estate after speaking, with Naruto kneeling and Naruto taking his mother's old engagement ring out of his pocket. Naruto then asked, Hinata-chan, will you marry me? To which Hinata replied, oh Naruto-kun, yes, I will marry you and I will help you bring Namikaze clan back to its former glory. He looked up at the sky as Naruto said, Mom and Dad, I asked Hinata to marry me, plus Hinata-chan said yes. Then, he said, don't worry, I will never forget everything you taught me because someday I will be Hokage no matter how tough the journey is. After Hinata finished speaking, he kissed him on the lips with joy, and he went to his room to sleep, knowing that his life would be a little happier now that he had Hinata Hyuga as his fiancé copyrightee. When Naruto went to sleep on his bed, he had a dream in which he saw Madara Uchiha being struck by an incalculable number of Rasengans. The following day, Naruto got out of bed and changed into his ninja gear, including the Hokage cloak that his father, Minato Namikaze, had worn when he became the 4th Hokage. Naruto proudly looked at himself in the mirror, knowing that his parents were proudly observing him. Dear Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze, everything for your wedding with my daughter has been prepared for you and your father's old wedding clothes are underneath the bed he slept in. Yours truly, your soon-to-be father-in-law Hiyashi Hyuga, leader of Hyuga clan. Naruto said, Mom and Dad, if you can hear me, I am getting married to Hinata Hyuga, my soon-to-be wife, plus the Hyugas set the wedding at an early time. Like this is something even I did not predict, as he looked at the message from the messenger bird that had arrived. After giving it some thought, Naruto changed from his ninja gear to his father's old wedding attire and put his father's Hokage cloak back on. He then left Namikaze estate to arrive at the wedding site, and a few minutes later, he thought, ruins of my mother's homeland, Hidden Eddy village Uzushiogakure, but why did Hyugas pick this place out of all locations? Upon seeing the wedding location's logo, with a tear in his eye, Naruto hurried to the Uzumaki grave site. After arriving, he looked at his ancestor's grave and said, Ancestor Mito Uzumaki Senju, I am about to get married to Hinata Hyuga, my soon-to-be wife, and I don't know what to do. Naruto closed his eyes and began to memorize his parents' words. Once he had his parents back, he said, don't worry, Ancestor Mito Uzumaki Senju. I will never forget the courage that you had even when you became the first Jinchuriki of Nine-Tail Fox Demon. Following his speech, Naruto went back to the abandoned Hidden Eddy village, where Hyugas were seated on the bride's side and Naruto's friends were seated on the groom's. In order to keep Naruto composed, a piano-like instrument played the well-known wedding song of Uzumaki and Namikaze, and Hiyashi led Hinata down the aisle to Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze, the Namikaze clan leader. Priestess Shien asked, Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze, leader of Namikaze clan, do you take Hinata Hyuga to be your loyal wedded wife to love and to care? To which Hiyashi replied, I do believe it. Priestess Shien then asked, Hinata Hyuga, do you take Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze to be your loyal wedded husband to love and to care? To which Hinata replied, I do, Priestess Shien-san. After Hinata finished speaking, Priestess Shien said, place the wedding ring on each other's wedding finger to ensure your marriage and happiness. When Hinata put Naruto's father's old wedding ring on his own wedding finger, Naruto grinned broadly. Then, when Priestess Shien said, I proudly announce you husband and wife, plus that means Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze, leader of Namikaze clan, you may kiss the bride. Naruto planted a kiss on Hinata's lips. However, as he picked her up, he took her to the same place where Naruto's father had taken his mother. After a few more minutes, the married couple reached their honeymoon destination at the Orange White Hotel, where Naruto was given the key to their room. After 10 minutes, they reached their hotel room, but as they walked in, they blushed a little and looked at one another, knowing what the other was thinking. After blushing a little at each other's thoughts, Naruto turned to face his wife, Hinata Hyuga Namikaze. Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze said, Hinata-chan, you have made me the happiest male alive, and I am glad that you are my wife, Hinata-chan. Then, knowing that there was a 50-50 chance that Naruto would end up getting Hinata pregnant, Hinata began stripping naked in front of Naruto. The married couple went to bed after having sex and fell asleep without realizing how much sperm Naruto had shot into Hinata's womb. The following day, the married couple got out of bed and changed into their ninja gear, but as he put his father's Hokage cloak on, he thought, I hope I successfully gotten Hinata-chan pregnant, because if I did I would positively be the happiest man alive. When Hinata said to Naruto, Naruto-kun, I'm pregnant and the size of my stomach is not too long until I give birth to our baby. A few months later, back at Namikaze estate, the soon-to-be parents grinned proudly, and Naruto responded, I am looking forward to our son or daughter's birth, plus known us we already thought what to name our firstborn child. Hinata noticed that her water had broken after Naruto had finished speaking, and she said, Naruto-kun, I was slightly miscalculated and my water broke. Naruto then picked her up and carefully hurried to the medical center, but as the soon-to-be parents were in the maternity ward, he carefully laid Hinata down on a bed. Shizune arrived as Naruto was holding Hinata's hand. Naruto-san, it's okay, I know what to do, Shizune said. After Hinata had taken off her underwear, Shizune said, Hinata-san, carefully start pushing and carefully breathe. After Shizune finished speaking, Hinata complied with Shizune until she gave birth to 2 babies instead of just 1. Congrats, Hinata-san, you gave birth to 1 boy and 1 girl, Shizune said after cutting the cord after Hinata gave birth. Oh, look at our children, they look adorable, Hinata said. But Naruto looked proud and responded, yeah, they certainly do, and I can't believe that I am a father. Naruto said, named after my parents, and if they were still alive I know that they would be celebrating with my parents.in.law because they became grandparents. Shizune then asked, what are you going to call them? To which Hinata replied, our sons' names are Minato Hyuga Namikaze and our daughters' names are Kushina Hyuga Namikaze. As a result, the newlyweds were able to get some rest because Hinata had just given birth to 2 Namikaze clan heirs. Dear Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze, if you are reading this, it means you are successor of the 5th Hokage, much like I am successor of the 5th Kazekage. But anyways, a rogue ninja from my village was trying to get an old form of power in ruin of an old kingdom, meaning I am assigning this mission to you, yours truly, Gaara Sabuko, husband of Matsuri Sabuko. Naruto read the message after a few more months later, while he and his wife Hinata Hyuga Namikaze were feeding their children when a messenger bird arrived. After reading the message, Naruto said, Hinata-chan, I am on an important mission assigned by fellow Jinchuriki Gaara. Hinata replied, okay, Naruto-kun, be careful and get back safe because not only do I care about you, but our 2 kids do too. Naruto then said, don't worry, Hinata-chan, I will get back for you and our kids because that is promise of a lifetime. Without realizing that the mission was unlike anything Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze had ever dared to undertake, Naruto left the Namikaze estate and headed to the ruin of Yoru Kingdom. The rogue ninja from Hidden Sand Village said, I see that successor of Lord Kazekage sent you a shinobi of Hidden Sand Village, after Naruto touched his hidden pocket containing pictures of his 2 children. Naruto then asked, what are you planning, rogue ninja, and what is the power that you wish to obtain? The rogue ninja replied, that power is long lost power of Ryukozu, and with that power I will be powerful enough to even easily eliminate Madara Uchiha or that lackey of his Hidan. After he spoke, the rogue ninja absorbed a rather familiar seal, which caused him to lift the familiar kunai and blast both shinobi a few years into the past. When Naruto woke up, he realized he was no longer there, so some mechanical puppets attacked him until he defeated them with the aid of a familiar Anbu Black Op. As Anbu Black Op took off his mask, he said, "That jutsu you used was one of my creations, the Lightning Thunder God Jutsu, but how did you do it when I have not taught anyone that jutsu?" Naruto responded, "I am unable to tell you and Jonin-san that I have been sent by a friend of mine to capture a rogue ninja that I believe goes by the name Ryukatsu, aka the Shinobi of Cruelty." The familiar shinobi then asked, "Who are you, by the way, Shinobi-san?" Naruto then added, "My name is Naruto UN, and being able to pull off your jutsus well that I am willing to explain due time." Finally, the familiar shinobi said, "My name is Minato Namikaze, and I am going to be Hokage someday because the will of fire within me burns bright as the sun." The two Namikaze clan leaders left for the area where the rogue ninja was hiding after Minato said, "Nice to meet you to Dad, and on behalf of my two kids, hello grandfather." Minato then asked, "Why does he look like me and Kushina-chan?" The rogue ninja then remarked, "Damn you Naruto for foiling me, well you might as well die here in the past." A few minutes later, as the rogue ninja was about to power up, Naruto pulled out a tri-pronged kunai. At the same moment, Minato pulled out his own tri-pronged kunai, and Naruto said, "I'll explain once I successfully capture that rogue ninja." They both yelled, "Lightning Thunder God Jutsu," and after the rogue ninja was struck by a double Lightning Thunder God Jutsu, Naruto knocked him out with a knockout seal that he surreptitiously placed on him. After defeating the rogue ninja, Naruto said, "Mind if you bring red-haired Kunoichi-san here, because before I return to my own time with a rogue ninja I captured." Minato then flashed yellow at Kushina, and Naruto said, "Alright, I might as well explain myself well. The truth is I am from the future and I am your son Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze, plus I am father of two children." As he took a picture of his parents as two grandchildren out of his pocket, Naruto said, "Alright, I might as well explain myself well." After a few minutes, during a family conversation, Naruto told his wife Hinata and their two children, "Hinata-chan mission was a success, and when our kids reach a certain age you be able to return to ninja duties." The messenger bird then arrived, but as soon as it delivered a message to Naruto, it took off again. The message read, "Dear Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze, Madara Uchiha declared the fourth great ninja war on 5 great nations, and we need your help to defeat the enemy. Yours truly, third Tsuchikage Uniki." Naruto responded, "Hinata-chan, stay here and keep our kids safe because I am going to war to help 5 great nations defeat the enemy, including the bastard Madara Uchiha." Hinata responded, "Alright Naruto-kun, be back safe and be careful," and Naruto hurried from the Namikaze estate to the battlefield. A flash of orange appeared as Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze arrived to assist the 5 cages. At that moment, he activated his Uzugen and said, "Cousin Tsunade, Lord Raikage, Lord Tsuchikage, Auntie Mei, and Lord Kazekage Baki, leave this to me because I am going to do something that no Hokage has ever been able to do." Meanwhile, the 5 great nations Shinobi, White Zetsu, Black Zetsu, Hidan, Kakazu, Sasori, Kisame, Deidara, and Madara Uchiha were engaged in combat on the vast battlefield. After the final form of Uzugen was finally unlocked, Madara Yu stated, "Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze, we finally meet face to face in the battlefield, and Nine-Tailed Demon Fox once again be mine," which Naruto responded with, "Do killed my mother and you killed my father, but now you dare to cause more suffering by targeting we the Jinchuriki." Then Madara replied, "Your parents was a fool for interfering with my attack on Hidden Leaf Village." So Naruto responded, "For all the suffering that you caused, I Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze, son of 4th Hokage Minato Namikaze the Yellow Flash and former Nine Tails Jinchuriki Kushina Uzumaki Namikaze, the legendary Red Death, will finally surpass ancestor-in-law by successfully eliminate you." Following his speech, Naruto attacked Madara Uchiha until the Akatsuki members intervened. "I knew you were such a coward, Madara Uchiha, and to be honest you gave me the perfect chance to use you as a test subject for this," Naruto said, making a series of hand gestures before yelling, "Secret Jutsu Guardian Soul Summoning." After Naruto finished speaking, 4 coffins rose out of the ground, but unlike the ones marked with the Guardian Soul mark. From these 4 coffins emerged the first Hokage, Hashirama Senju, Mito Uzumaki Senju, the original Nine Tails Jinchuriki, Minato Namikaze, and Kushina Uzumaki Namikaze. Hashirama Senju then said, "Madara, I am surprised that you survived, but thanks to Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze's version of Forbidden Jutsu Reanimation, I will finish where I started." Mito Uzumaki Senju then said, "My decedent, I have returned, and your evil deed ends here, Madara Uchiha. You have caused enough suffering and it is time that your evil deed comes to an end," Minato said after Mito Uzumaki Senju finished speaking. Kushina responded, "Your vile deed ends here and our son Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze will be Hokage no matter what, believe it." Madara then yelled, "Akatsuki, destroy them and don't allow anyone to interfere with my battle against Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze, the leader of the Namikaze clan." As a result, Naruto's parents and Tsunade's grandparents engaged in combat with the Akatsuki members. When Kisame went to use his blade to attack Hashirama Senju, Hashirama made a combined hand sign and yelled, "Wood-style forest destruction." Then, using wood-style forest destruction, Hashirama killed Kisame Hoshikage, the sharkskin sword wielder Samahada. Deidara then tried to kill Mito Uzumaki Senju, but Mito killed him with water-style slashing whirlpool while Mito yelled, "Water-style slashing whirlpool jutsu." After Deidara was killed, Minato killed Sasori with Rasengan while yelling, "Rasengan." Hidan tried to kill Kushina after Sasori was defeated, but Kushina made a hand sign and then yelled, "Water-style whirlpool trap jutsu." Kushina then trapped Hidan in a whirlpool until 5 minutes later, when Hidan drowned in the whirlpool. However, as Kakazu attempted to attack Hashirama Senju, Tsunade killed Kakazu with a powerful punch while shouting, "Senju Harishin Punch." Mei Uzumaki, the fifth Mizukage, used fire-style burning magma to kill the two Zetsus after Kakazu was vanquished. Mei yelled, "Fire!" style burning magma, and Madara Uchiha made some hand gestures before slamming his hand down and yelling, "Summoning Jutsu." Then a creature the size of a 9-tailed fox demon appeared, and Naruto said, "Two can play that game, you vile bastard, because as long as the will of fire burns I will never give up. That is my ninja way." As he closed his eyes, he entered his mindscape, where Kyuubi, the 9-tailed fox demon, was waiting. When Naruto entered his mindscape, he turned to face Kurama and said, "Kurama, the time to unlock the Uzugan's very own version of Susanoo is now." Kurama responded, "To defeat you, that is something that I did not expect, and especially at a time like this." Naruto then unlocked the seal that had contained Kurama, but as Kurama emerged from his enclosed space, he knew that the will of fire he sensed in Naruto blazed like an inferno of great courage. "Kurama, my friend, I know you're not going to take it easy on me, and the only thing I say about that is bring it on," Naruto said as he prepared to defend himself. Kurama then began to prepare a tailed beast bomb, which Naruto then formed into a large Rasengan the size of the tailed beast bomb. Kurama then fired the tailed beast bomb as Naruto yelled, "Tailed beast bomb," and Naruto yelled, "Big ball Rasengan," as he blocked the tailed beast bomb with a big. After using a big ball Rasengan to block the tailed beast bomb, Naruto ran straight at Kurama, who then tried to claw him until he yelled, "Whirlpool defense." Naruto then used whirlpool defense to block Kurama's claw, causing him to jump back. However, as Kurama launched another tailed beast bomb, Naruto thought, "The 5 great nations and my fellow Jinchuriki are counting on me. Especially that my wife Hinata-chan is counting on me to protect them from the suffering caused by Madara Uchiha." Naruto asked, "How do I unlock Uzugan's very own version of Susanoo?" After a ghostly-like image appeared and said, "There is a way for you to unlock the power that you seek, and it lives right in the will of fire within you." Naruto then teleported to a different area of his mindscape while the ghostly-like image continued, saying, "I am path of 6 sages and Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze. The will of fire you have within you is like the kindness that I shared with all 9 of the tailed beasts that I created from the 10-tailed beast Jubi." The path of 6 sages pointed to Naruto's chest and said, "You will know Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze because I have faith in you, and even the tailed beasts have faith in you, as you Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze are hero that might be able to surpass me." After returning from his mindscape, Naruto formed a combined hand sign and thought, "I no longer fight as a Jonin rank shinobi because on this day I fight as the 6th Hokage." Naruto then prepared to resume his battle with Madara Uchiha, saying, "Madara Uchiha, on this day I will fight not as Jonin rank shinobi because on this day I fight as the 6th Hokage." Naruto felt a tremendous surge of energy as Uzugan's very own version of Susanoo was finally unlocked. In the same way that an Uchiha is protected by the power of Susanoo, Naruto activated Uzugan's very own version of Susanoo by saying, "Behold my very own version of the Susanoo Kyuubi no and the key to your death." Energy then blazed out of Naruto in the form of a 9-tailed fox demon. Kyuubi no then drew out 2 astral-like blades from his astral plane, and Naruto said, "Any last words before you suffer for all the suffering that you have caused?" When Naruto finished speaking, Madara chuckled and activated his own Susanoo, Madara then made a hand gesture as his Susanoo attempted to attack Naruto's Kyuubi no. However, as Naruto shouted, "Kenjutsu Art Dance of the Fox," Kyuubi no used the Dance of the Fox to attack Madara's Susanoo. When Madara deactivated his Susanoo, Naruto deactivated his Kyuubi no and made some hand signals. Then, yelling, "Wind-style slashing air gust," Naruto attacked Madara Uchiha, forming a hand sign as he began to enter Sage mode. However, unlike the Toad's Sage mode, Naruto's hair turned red like that of an Uzumaki. After successfully entering Sage mode, Naruto made a few hand gestures and yelled, "Sage Art Razor Air Gust." He then used these hand gestures to attack Madara Uchiha, drawing two prong kunai and yelling, "Kenjutsu Art Dance of the Red Death." After Madara Uchiha was attacked with the Dance of the Red Death, Naruto put both prong kunai back into his weapon pouch, knowing that he was almost finished a task he had shared with Kurama the nine-tailed fox demon. When Madara Uchiha recovered, he absorbed the dark chakra he had discovered the week before declaring the Fourth Great Ninja War on 5 great nations. Naruto thought, "Kurama, we need to do something because our battle with Madara Uchiha got a little more difficult with that dangerous chakra that he now has." Kurama then said, "Naruto, it is time that we do what other Jinchuriki might have accomplished, and that is that we combine our power." Naruto then asked himself, "How do we do that, Kurama?" After Naruto finished speaking, Kurama explained, "That is pretty much easy, Naruto, because we both need to close our eyes and memorize the bond that we formed since we first met." At the same moment, Naruto closed his eyes, and he heard Iruka say, "Naruto Uzumaki is no longer a demon that people accused him of being because Naruto Uzumaki is a ninja of Hidden Leaf Village because I believe in him." When Kurama opened his eyes, Naruto clapped his hands together and channeled a great deal of both his and Kurama's chakra until he was able to enter Nine-Tailed Chakra mode. After forming a few hand signs, Naruto used a wind-style Great Air Blizzard to attack Madara Uchiha while both Naruto and Kurama yelled, "Wind-style Great Air Blizzard," together. Madara Uchiha reactivated his Sharingan after being attacked by a wind-style Great Air Blizzard. Naruto then began to form a tailed beast bomb and rotated it like the Rasengan. As Naruto and Kumara yelled, "Tailed Beast Rasengan," together, Naruto struck Madara Uchiha with the tailed beast Rasengan. "This is for what you did to me and Kurama the Nine-Tail Fox Demon Madara Uchiha, you murderous bastard," Naruto yelled after deactivating the Nine-Tailed Chakra mode after striking Madara Uchiha with a tailed beast Rasengan. He then drove his entire fist through Madara Uchiha's stomach, killing her with a powerful Rasengan. A week later, back at Hidden Leaf Village, Naruto was at the Hokage office. The 5th Hokage, Tsunade, said, "Cousin, I am planning to retire and I can't be Hokage forever because once I have retired as Hokage you will be the new Hokage since I have picked you as my successor." Naruto was so victorious that he knelt on his 2 knees and wept after killing Madara Uchiha, using a powerful wind-style jutsu that caused 4 shinobi to vanish back to the grave where they had come from. Then Naruto said, "I will do everything I can to protect the Hidden Leaf Village as the 6th Hokage when you retire." Which Tsunade responded with, "You have a mission and you can bring any 3 genin you wish." Then Naruto responded, "I like to take Konohamaru, Miyogi and Udon because I have picked them 3 as my apprentice and specially that doing that it is my way to honor Lord Hokage Hiruzen's dying wish." So the 5th Hokage replied, "Your mission is to protect an important person and that person is the one who is going to become 6th Kazekage plus this is an A rank mission due to amount of bandits that plans to do harm to successor of 5th Kazekage Baki." "That sounds cool, Naruto sensei, and I still want to work to become your successor because like you to be Hokage is my dream," Konohamaru said after Naruto made a hand sign and vanished in a flash of orange after arriving at the training ground where he was with his 2 friends. Naruto then turned to face 3 apprentices who had been chosen for the mission. "We have a mission to protect successor of the 5th Kazekage and he is a very close friend of mine due to what we are known as," Naruto said. Udon asked, "Who is the successor of 5th Kazekage Naruto sensei?" After Konohamaru finished speaking. Naruto responded, "The 5th Kazekage's successor is Gaara Sabuko, a good friend of mine, and I have no idea who he has picked to be his successor." Miyogi then asked, "How are your kids doing, Naruto-sensei?" To which Naruto replied, "My daughter Kushina Hyuga Namikaze and my son Minato Hyuga Namikaze are both doing well, plus I have another 2 on the way." Naruto said, "Hey Gaara, how are you and who are your 3 students?" Gaara responded, "This is Tsuyomi Sandiku, Takiano Shurikento, and Baki Jr., my 3 selected apprentices." Naruto then said, "This is Konohamaru Saratobi, Udon, and Miyogi, my 3 apprentices plus they are my 3 students." After Naruto finished speaking, Team 7 left for the sand desert, where Gaara Sabuko was waiting with his 3 students. Udon, Konohamaru, and Miyogi help out Gaara's 3 students while I team up with Gaara Sabuko, Naruto said as he nodded to Gaara. You 3 help Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze's 3 students and I will team up with Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze to take down whatever amount of bandits we too soon be 6th cages are up against, Gaara replied. When Gaara finished speaking, his 3 students responded, yes, Naruto-sensei. Gaara then made a hand sign and used Sand Tsunami to attack some bandits while shouting, Sand Tsunami. However, as he made a hand sign, he used Water Fox Bomb to attack the same bandits while shouting, Water-style Water Fox Bomb Jutsu. With the help of their students, they were able to defeat their bandits using a combination of Fire-style, Water-style, Earth-style, and Lightning-style Jutsu. Back with the 2 Jinchuriki, Naruto turned to face Gaara and asked, Gaara, are you thinking what I am thinking? Gaara responded, I am thinking what you are thinking, fellow Jinchuriki Naruto. The 2 Jinchuriki then made a series of hand gestures and shouted, Wind-style Supreme Air Slash Jutsu, as they used this technique to kill the bandits. Mission was a success. Cousin Tsunade and their mission given by Lord Kazekage Baki was also a success, Naruto said as he looked at the 5th Hokage, Tsunade, after the 2 Jinchuriki used Wind-style Supreme Air Slash Jutsu to kill the remaining bandits. 20 minutes later, Team 7 and Team A returned to Hidden Leaf Village, and a few more minutes later, they reached the Hokage office. Following Naruto's speech, the 5th Hokage, Tsunade, said, okay, good job, Cousin Naruto and Gaara-san. I'll send Lord Kazekage Baki a messenger bird to let him know that your mission was successful. Team A then returned to Hidden Sand Village, while Naruto's 3 students went home to rest. A short while later, Naruto returned to the Namikaze estate to check on his wife, Hinata Hyuga Namikaze, unaware that Hinata was expecting his 2nd child. Are you alright, Hinata-chan? Naruto asked as he glanced at her. Naruto-kun. I am pregnant for the 2nd time and I feel like I have twins again because I have been craving ramen like last time. Naruto then kissed Hinata on the lips and remarked, I am looking forward to our kids being born because our 2 kids will have a sibling to look after kinda like how you looked after Hanabi-san. Afterwards Hinata stated, if it is a boy and a girl I know what we can name our kids Naruto-kun. So Naruto inquired, what would you name them Hinata-chan? And Hinata responded, Naruto-kun I'd name our 2nd daughter Hinagi Hyuga Namikaze and our 2nd son Hiyashi Hyuga Namikaze. So Naruto responded, that fits our 2nd 2 kids nicely Hinata-chan and I am sure our son Minato be happy being a big brother and especially that our daughter Kushina be happy being big sister. When the couple entered their bedroom, they discovered their daughter Kushina and son Minato dozing off like a log. They changed into their bedtime attire before going to bed, and they dozed off as they dreamed about their children becoming Genin rank shinobi. When the couple woke up the following day, they got out of bed and changed from their bedtime routine. Naruto changed into his ninja gear, and Hinata and their 2 children changed into their normal clothes. Naruto then left the Namikaze estate to go to the location where his 3 students were waiting. Okay, we have a mission in a place called Land of Birds, and this is a C rank mission that could possibly rise up to an A rank mission, Naruto said as he arrived. Naruto-sensei, what is our mission? Konohamaru asked, what is our mission? Naruto replied, it is to protect Priestess Shion from a group of reanimated shinobi. Miyogi then said, if our enemy is reanimated shinobi, our true enemy is caster of that forbidden jutsu. We will defeat Naruto-sensei and the renegade ninja, regardless of who the enemy is. You are right about that, and if the group of reanimated shinobi who I think it is the mission would have risen from C rank mission to a rank mission, Naruto said after Udon finished speaking. Team 7 then left Hidden Leaf Village and traveled to the Land of Birds, and a few minutes later, they reached the Land of Lands. Naruto then turned to see that he was correct about the identity of the group of reanimated shinobi. Konohamaru, Miyogi, and Udon handle the caster of this forbidden jutsu while I have another round against the Akatsuki who that rogue ninja reanimated, Naruto said as he activated his Uzugen. Konohamaru then went with his 2 friends to defeat the caster of the forbidden jutsu while Naruto looked at the Akatsuki and said, oh, this is my lucky day, I get to defeat you for the 2nd time and don't worry, you will be completely destroyed. Madara Uchiha then added, we are lucky ones here because we will have our revenge on you and there is no escape, which made Naruto laugh. Naruto made an eye contact with Akatsuki as he activated the Uzugen version of Mangekyo Sharingan Foxkyu. In the Genjutsu, Naruto said, welcome to my version of Tsukiyomi Foxyomi here, where I control everything here, and unlike Tsukiyomi where it is 24 hours, I decide how long Foxyomi lasts. After saying this, Naruto vanished, Then a group of shinobi appeared, and Naruto then said, "Time for my version of your punishment, and you're right, there is no escape until I release you from my genjutsu." Following Naruto's speech, Hashirama Senju used wood-style shurikens to attack the reanimated Akatsuki. Tsukumo Hitaki then used a lightning-style thunderbolt to attack the Akatsuki, and after Minato Namikaze Rasen shocked the Akatsuki, the remaining imagined shinobi used their most potent jutsu to attack the Akatsuki. However, as Naruto released the Akatsuki from the genjutsu, he grinned and came up with yet another idea for a jutsu. He intended to use Uzumatsu, an Uzugen version of Sharingan's jutsu. Following his famous grin, Naruto said, "Uzumatsu," setting the Akatsuki on fire with the flames of the Uzumatsu. Then, he made a series of hand gestures, the final one being, sealing jutsu prison lock, while grinning and sealing the Akatsuki into a statue that Naruto had just noticed. When Naruto's 3 students arrived, he said, "The rogue ninja who cast the forbidden jutsu has been defeated in Naruto-sensei. I can't wait for you to finally be Hokage because I am going to be 7th Hokage someday." Miyogi said, "Naruto-sensei, you would make an excellent Hokage, and unlike my grandparent, I will help the 7th Hokage no matter what." Udon responded, "To be advisor of 7th Hokage, that is my dream, and I will not make the same mistake my grandparent has made." Following Udon's speech, Team 7 returned to Hidden Leaf Village, which they reached 2 hours later. From there, they proceeded to the Hokage office to report the mission's success. A few minutes later, Team 7 reached the Hokage office, but as Naruto glanced at his cousin, the 5th Hokage, Tsunade, he remarked, "Mission was a success, and I believe that the payment was successfully delivered by a ninja from Land of Birds." Following the words of Naruto, 5th Hokage teased, "Well done Team 7 and Naruto, I am going to retire tomorrow because starting tomorrow you are going to take over as THR 6th Hokage, and especially that your coronation is tomorrow." Which encouraged Naruto. "Yahoo, I am going to be Hokage and my dream will finally be accomplished." And then Konohamaru responded, "Way to go sensei, and keep that hat ready for me when you retire." And Udon responded, "Me and Miyogi will be Konohamaru's advisors when he becomes the 7th Hokage." Following Udon's speech, Miyogi remarked, "Konohamaru is our friend and teammate because when you retire, he will become the 7th Hokage and we will be his advisors." Naruto responded, "It is true that Konohamaru will be my successor, but you must keep in mind that there are no shortcuts." After his 3 students left, Naruto returned to Namikaze estate to rest with his clan. Minato and Kushina, "I am proud of you two walking at such an early age, but due time you be having a couple of siblings," Naruto said as he turned to face his wife upon returning home. "I am a proud mother and Naruto-kun. I can tell you are a proud father because our clan is slightly growing," Hinata said, and Naruto hugged their 2 children as they exclaimed, "Dada and Mama, we love you." "All right," the Ninja Academy teacher said a few years ago. "All right. Team 1 is Minato Hyuga Namikaze, Kushina Hyuga Namikaze, and Hizashi Hyuga with Team Sensei Konohamaru Saratobi." The academy teacher said, "All right, come with me to Inchiraku Ramen for team introduction and we will go to Training Ground 7 for bell test." Konohamaru then arrived. Team 2 is Hiyashi Hyuga Namikaze, Hinagi Hyuga Namikaze, and Obito Uchiha with Team Sensei Udon of the Hidden Leaf Village, the academy teacher said after Konohamaru finished speaking. "Okay students, let's head over to Dango Stand for team introduction and we will go to Hidden Leaf Forest for a little test that Kurenai-san once gave to her students," Udon said. The academy teacher said, "All right. Team 3 is Inoicho of Hidden Leaf, Shikamaru Nara, and Shojaku Akamichi with Team Sensei Moegi of Hidden Leaf," after Udon finished speaking. In response, Miyogi arrived at the academy and said, "Okay students, let's get over the dojo for team introduction and a little test that my friend's uncle Asuma gave to his 3 students." Team 3 then left for their team introduction at the dojo. The academy teacher said, "Okay. Team 4 is Hinasho Hyuga Saratobi, Rin Hitaki, and Luckstar Lee with Team Sensei Fu Ibrahim," after Team 3 had left for the dojo for team introduction. When Fu arrived, he said, "I have never been sensei before to be honest anyway. Let's get over to Training Ground 5 for team introduction and a little test that Lord Hokage Horizon once did back when he was a Jonin rank shinobi." Meanwhile, Team 1 arrived at Ichiraku Ramen stand before their team introduction. When they got up, Konohamaru said, "All right, why don't we introduce each other and explain a little bit about ourselves?" Which Minato Hyuga Namikaze responded with, "Konohamaru sensei, why don't you start first because we get to hear how team introduction works." Then Konohamaru responded with, "My name is Konohamaru. My hobbies is training with my sensei, spending time with Hanabi-chan. My likes is Naruto sensei, Hanabi-chan. Pranks, our son Hinasho Hyuga Saratobi, My dislikes is traitors, ramen thieves, perverts, rapists. My dream is to be 7th Hokages and my goal is to retire with my successor taking over as the 8th Hokage. So Konohamaru responded. Alright blue hair, your turn to introduce yourself to the team. After Konohamaru spoke, Minato said, my name is Minato Hyuga Namikaze. My likes is my father Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze, my mother Hinata Hyuga Namikaze. My sister Kushina Hyuga Namikaze, our little brother Hiyashi Hyuga Namikaze. Our little sister Hinagi Hyuga Namikaze, our cousin Hinasho Hyuga Saratobi. Our second cousin Hizashi Hyuga, ramen, pranks. My dislikes is people who wish to harm my family. Ramen thieves, fangirls. My wish to surpass dad by becoming your successor to the role of 8th Hokage, and my goal is to not only master my clan's jutsus but to complete Grandpa Lord Hokage Minato's jutsu the Rasengan. Which Kushina said, my name is Kushina Hyuga Namikaze. My likes is my brother Minato, our little brother Hiyashi, our little sister Hinagi. My hobbies is same as Minato's. My dream is to master taijutsu of Hyuga clan and my goal is to surpass Granny Tsunade as best medic. Then Rin Hitaki said, my name is Rin Hitaki. My likes is reading. My father Kakashi Hitaki. My mother Anko Hitaki. My dislikes is Icha books. Traitors. My dream is to continue Tale of Gutsy Ninja books and my goal is to become an interrogator like my mum. After Rin spoke, Konohamaru reflected, I got Naruto sensei's son. Naruto sensei's daughter and I have got son of Naruto. Sensei's own sensei, well that is sure and interesting. Mix. Which Konohamaru replied, okay students, now that we got to know each other, let's get over to training ground for the bell test, and I might even tell you about my sensei when I used to be a genin rank shinobi. Followed by the 3 students saying, cool, we get to find out how you was with your sensei and the tell test sounds fun, believe it. Then Konohamaru pondered, Naruto sensei, your son and daughter seem to have inherited the very same will that you have, but Rin Hitaki sounds like an interesting kid, and especially that the 3 students of mine is going to be great shinobi someday, no matter how challenging being a sensei is. Alright. Test is to get these 3 bells from me and you need to come at me with intent to defeat me, because back when I was a genin, me along with my 2 friends were given this very same test by Naruto sensei. Konohamaru explained after Team 1 got up and left for the training ground. A few minutes later, they arrived, so Konohamaru took 3 bells out of his pockets and tied them to the belt of his weapon pouch. As they prepared, Konohamaru uttered the words, Shinobi Tactic No. 1 Taijutsu. Then, using a taijutsu move that Asuma had taught him, Konohamaru struck his 3 students. Minato blocked his attack by yelling, rotation, so Kushina struck Konohamaru, who then yelled, 8 trigrams gentle fist. Rin then struck Konohamaru with a dashing fist strike, yelling, Mitarashi-style taijutsu dashing fist strike. After being struck by Rin Hitaki, Konohamaru said, Shinobi Tactic No. 2 Genjutsu. He then made a hand sign and whispered, Genjutsu art prankster's dream. Unaware that his sensei's 2 children couldn't be caught on Genjutsu that easily, Konohamaru cast his Genjutsu on his 3 students. Rin Hitaki then undid the Genjutsu, but as Konohamaru grinned, he said, okay. Shinobi Tactic No. Ninjutsu. Meanwhile, Konohamaru prepared to use fire style burning ash, and Naruto's 2 children prepared to pull off sexy jutsu that Naruto himself created. 2 Namikaze kids yelled, sexy jutsu confusion, as they formed the hand sign. 2 Namikaze kids then changed back into the most perplexing medic ninja. Konohamaru said, Shinobi Tactic No. 4 Kenjutsu. Following Konohamaru's speech, 2 Namikaze children produced a pair of triangular kunai, and Rin removed a couple of kunai that Anko had previously used. 2 Namikaze children then shouted, Dance of the Red Death, and 2 Namikaze children struck Konohamaru with the Dance of the Red Death. However, as soon as Konohamaru's 3 students swiftly took a bell from him, it was time up. When Konohamaru saw that his 3 students were holding a bell, he said, You 3 pass and I am proud to call you 3 my students, plus you 3 may return home while I inform Naruto sensei that you 3 passed the bell test. After his 3 students left, Konohamaru went to the Hokage office, where Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze, the 6th Hokage, was occupied with some paperwork. When Konohamaru arrived, he said, Hey you 3, how is your 3 students and did anyone pass the test? After Naruto finished speaking, Konohamaru said, Naruto sensei, my student Rin Hitaki and your 2 kids have passed the bell test very much like when I passed bell test with my 2 friends. Following Konohamaru's speech, Udon said, Naruto sensei, your other 2 kids, and Obito have passed the test that I gave them. Miyogi responded, Naruto sensei, my 3 students have passed the test and I am proud to be their sensei. Fu then said, Lord Hokage Naruto, my 3 students have passed the test and I am grateful to the Ibrahim clan for taking me in. Naruto then said, I am proud that our kids have passed the test and I know their mother Hinata Hyuga Namikaze. My wife is also proud of our kids. However, as he completed the paperwork, Hinata brought him some ramen, knowing that the paperwork was simple to defeat because of Shadow Clone Jutsu. After finishing his ramen, Naruto made a hand sign that read, Shadow Clone Jutsu Paperwork Defeater. He then created some shadow clones and returned to Namikaze estate, but a few minutes later, in a flash of orange, Naruto reappeared there. He then turned to face his 4 children and said, Kids, I am proud of you and for reward we will go out for something to eat but it is up to you 4 pick where you want to have something to eat. I agree with you there, Naruto-kun, and they have grown well because we have raised our 4 kids well, Hinata said after Naruto said, Pick where you want to have something to eat and we will go there as a family. Minato Hyuga Namikaze, Kushina Hyuga Namikaze, Hiyashi Hyuga Namikaze, and Hinagi Hyuga Namikaze cheered. Ramen. Naruto then said, Well, Hinata-chan looks like they certainly did inherit the joy of having ramen but they did inherit your bravery along with your eyes the Baikao gun. After Hinata's speech, the Namikaze clan left the Namikaze estate and headed to Ichiraku Ramen, where Yame works with her husband Iruka Amino. A few minutes later, the Namikaze clan reached Ichiraku Ramen, and 10 minutes after that, they sat down, and Naruto said, Hey Iruka-sensei, I would like 1 barbecue pork ramen, 1 shrimp ramen, 1 chicken ramen, 1 tuna ramen, 1 seafood ramen, and my all-time favorite ramen supreme. Sure, Lord Hokage Naruto, you were my favorite student back when I was an academy teacher except I retired and Ayame-chan is cooking your ramen, Iruka said after Naruto finished speaking. Ayame then went on to say, There you go, Lord Hokage Naruto, and to see you Namikaze clan here is something that is worth remembering. Hinata then added, Thank you and our 4 kids have passed the test that their sensei have given them. The Namikaze clan ate their ramen after Hinata's speech, and an hour later, they returned to the Hokage office. As Naruto was about to finish some more paperwork, he noticed a fire outside the window and turned to face his children and wife. Hinata-chan gather water-style jutsu users and kids evacuate as many civilians as you can because whatever creature is attacking our village I will be the one to stop it, he said, before going off to face the creature that was attacking Hidden Leaf Village. The creature roared, I am Muyo and I have returned to destroy the Hidden Leaf Village, as Naruto jumped onto the top roof upon arriving at the scene of the attack. Naruto responded, As long as I am Hokage, you will do no such thing demon and if it takes 1 to defeat 1 well, that is what I will do. Naruto then called forth Kurama, the 9-tailed fox demon, but as Kurama appeared, Naruto said, Kurama, my friend, I need you to keep that demon busy because I am going to eliminate this demon with gigantic Rasengan. When Kurama the 9-tailed fox demon was able to keep Muyo occupied, Naruto created a giant Rasengan and used it to destroy Muyo. When Naruto yelled, Gigantic Rasengan, everyone in Hidden Leaf Village cheered. Long with Lord Hokage Naruto, long live the Namikaze clan, the legendary clan of Hidden Leaf Village. This was a celebration of how the Namikaze clan rescued Hidden Leaf Village from the dark demon Muyo. After leaving the celebration, Naruto and the rest of his family visited the grave of his parents, where the Namikaze clan placed flowers in a ramen bowl. Naruto then proudly looked at his family, knowing that he was proud to be the 6th Hokage and proud to be the father of 4 children, especially Hinata Hyuga Namikaze's husband.
That's it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this great story. See you in the next one.